I think this is supposed to work. We may be
Twitch is
live.
up.
We may be live. We may not be. I actually have no idea at the moment. Yeah, the Twitch side of things looks good. The Twitch side of things definitely looks good. I'm trying to see if the YouTube side of things looks good. Give us a sec here, folks. We're getting ready to launch into the game here. Oh, it does say live. View in live control room. Oh, yeah, okay. I think so. I guess something is funky on my laptop. It's how I do like quality control testing. But all right, I think we have. Hold on.
So for folks who are here on Twitch, good evening in the US, good morning here in Australia, and kia ora, New Zealand. My name's Derek. Ritz is in the other window. We're just getting the tech side of things sorted out for this morning's first NBA playoff match. It is Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between Milwaukee and Miami, the Heat leading series 2-0.
Yes, good morning and good afternoon, or happy early afternoon, I suppose, if you're on the Pacific Coast, because it is only 3:30 here. Usually we have Fran on the East Coast side joining us as well, but as Derek said, I am joined this afternoon. This is a treat, I have to say. Derek joining us all the way from Australia.
Beautiful Townsville, Queensland.
Exactly. So tell the folks where exactly that is.
Townsville is on the northeast coast. It's about 700 miles north of Brisbane as you head up the coast. Just south of Cairns, if you've travelled here. Cairns is the main international airport in this part of the world.
Let's see. Axie saying the YouTube doesn't have sound. Is that true, or is your sound just off, Axie? Because it's showing me as like transmitting everything. Derek, what do you have on that on your side?
Hold on, I actually still have YouTube showing up as waiting for relive. So, oh, here we are. No, I am getting sound on the YouTube side.
Okay, it is just Axie. It is just viewer technical errors. Because we should be good to go. All right, the starting lineups. This is on TNT for those in the United States. Milwaukee, Bledsoe, Matthews, Middleton, Antetokounmpo, and it just went way too quickly, and I couldn't even see the rest
Brook Lopez.
of it. Lopez.
Brook Lopez will be the other starter. And then on the Miami side, Bam Adebayo is in the jump. Jimmy Butler.
The usual suspects, David Robinson, Montrez, Harrell, and Goran Dragic is off camera at the moment, I believe, but should probably be in the starting lineup. The tip controlled by the Milwaukee Bucks here, Derek, and we are underway as Milwaukee has its back to the wall, down 2-0. They saw what Toronto did last night trying to relive that magic, but Giannis's first shot is short off the front iron. Derek, what are you expecting to see out of Milwaukee this evening?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know how they're going to change things up. They were very close in game 2, so it may be just a matter of run with that game plan and hope things just get a couple more shots to drop, few less turnovers, and hopefully that works out because they weren't that far off.
No, they were definitely not. It came down to a shot at the wire. Plenty of controversy ending in game 2 as the opening score salvo is delivered by Goran Dragic, the three there, and Middleton is going to answer the bell on the other side. 2 3-pointers going in each direction there. The shooters getting in on the action early as Jimmy Butler going to bring this one up the court, kind of split a double team. Nice little floater. Ooh, pretty.
League Pass just asking me if I want to play trivia for this morning. No, I don't.
Stream ESPN bits are ahead of stream by roughly 30 cents. Oh, yeah. The thing at top is going to be slightly ahead. We end up turning it off at the end of the game just to not ruin the spoilers. But for the time being, it is 5-5. And we'll have to come up with a better way to actually figure that out. We're At some day we will have a stats feed that is actually in sync with what we're calling. Bam Adebayo here with a long range 2. Both teams going cold here from the floor in the last few minutes. Misses.
I have a
in
solution for that,
direction.
but it's janky.
Oh yeah, the spreadsheet is
And
actually a pretty good solution.
It's a bit labor intensive too, but that's all right.
Bledsoe looking for opportunity down low, does manage to get it to Middleton, who's working on Crowder. Double team by Miami, perhaps? No, Robinson backs off, and it's going to be a mid-range jump shot by Middleton, which is good. 7-5 here for the Bucks in the early going. 2 minutes down in the first. Good pace for both teams. Both teams basically playing themselves even in game 2, and then just a couple plays going the direction of Miami there at the end, I suppose, depending on which side of the playoff series you're in. You either thought it was a great call or a bad call. Bledsoe drives into the lane and completes his play as Dragic hits the floor. May have gotten hit in the head there. 9-5.
It's a good aggressive start, going to the post, going to the paint, getting those shots early, not relying on jumpers.
Definitely trying to get going more downhill, and we have seen Giannis been contained in transition. Miami has been doing a very good job of that. We'll see if he gets points in transition there. Robinson on the right wing. Yeah, just alone. Milwaukee left him there. Dragic hits him with the assist, and the shot goes down 9-8 Miami. Miami shooting very well from 3, actually. Oh, my goodness, what a block by Dragic on Bledsoe as Bledsoe hits the floor, and he can't believe
anticipated.
it. Yeah, and here is Crowder for 3. Hits the front iron, just rolls off. Rebound down to Giannis, and now the Bucks are going in transition. Middleton almost stepped into a 3, but will take it. Middleton! Woo! He's hot. He's hit his first 2 from long range. Actually, the sort of a note on the three-point shooting as Robinson decides to just hoist another one here. Poor three-point shooting from the Bucks, really. The Bucks has shot 28% from 3 in Game 2. Derek, as you were saying, similar game, might have a similar game plan, but just hope a couple of the shots end up going down. 7 of 25.
3 from a moment ago. Miami 3 for 8 from the field to get started. Milwaukee 5 for 9, but 2 for 3 from deep.
As we have hit a quick commercial break in the first, we were going to sort of set up the game here a bit more. It didn't give us that much time to get into it as we welcome in all the viewers across both platforms on Twitch and on YouTube. Here, welcome in everybody. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. Derek, Miami looks like it's on an unstoppable roll here, up 2-0 in the series behind the play of guards Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic. Dragic, who has scored at least 20 points in all 6 playoff games, all Miami wins, by the way, and is averaging 25 points in this series. Talk to me about the guard play for these Miami Heat.
And that's an interesting point. They haven't lost since the seeding round finished. They swept Indiana, although all those games were close. There weren't any blowouts in that first round. But yeah, they haven't lost since the seeding round finished. 6-0.
6-0 indeed. And then the last game, as we recall, ending in a series of controversial foul calls and walk-up free throws, which, as much basketball as we've seen, at some point you believe, we've seen it all, but I had never seen that. I had never seen a walk-off free throw.
I've seen it once before, but I don't think in the NBA. So yeah, definitely not common to have literally no time on the clock.
Yeah, this was called on a foul called on Giannis at basically as time expired in what was a tie game, Jimmy Butler goes to shoot three, and Giannis just puts a hand on him, gets called for the foul, and Butler shoots the three free throws, essentially to win the game. I think there were some folks saying that the Bucks should have just walked off the court before the free throws were even taken. Uh, Possibly poor sportsmanship, but
Maybe you do the mascot thing and stand at the baseline and wave at them, see what you can do.
Oh yeah, because there's no free throw distraction, right? So you gotta make
Other than the video wall.
yeah, but that's not the very distracting, I don't think. Quick injury update here. We saw Andre Iguodala go down in Game 2. Sprained his right ankle on Wednesday when he came down on Kyle Korver's foot. Actually, that was a foul against Kyle Korver, oddly enough. And then, but the Heat will be presumably without him going forward. So the impact here, Derek, on the Heat without Andre.
He makes a big difference off the bench. He's been a veteran player coming in, able to score, able to create his own shot. So yeah, it's a big blow for Miami. Not quite the sixth man, I don't think, for the Heat, but definitely a big influence. He played substantial minutes off the bench in the games I've been seeing.
Yeah, indeed. And he brings that veteran experience. Obviously, coming from Golden State, he's won championships. He knows how to make it happen. El Canal here on the Twitch side of things. I know we would love to show the game if we could. Unfortunately, we don't want to get in trouble for that. So we'll just have to do as Bledsoe almost travels, and actually, yes, he does. That was a walk. So unfortunately, we can't show the live game because the NBA owns the rights. So we don't want to get sued. All right, resuming play here. It's a 12-8 lead in the early going for Milwaukee, as looks like the Bucks are. No, they are playing man or zone, Derek. A bit of a mix of everything, as I suppose.
Bit of a mix of everything for the moment.
Brook Lopez, what a pass by Giannis just to Brook Lopez. We saw him hit two big three-pointers in the second game. He has definitely found that outside shot as Jay Crowder is going to return the favor here. Yes! Woo! Back and forth we go with the three-pointers across both teams. And by the way, chat, we are on the side of the Miami Heat. I am in my Miami Heat red, and I think the black and red on your shirt could count. You're in uniform almost.
My local team is my local state league team is the Townsville Heat. So
there you go.
I guess that's kind of an endorsement.
As Bam Adebayo gets the ball down low, but has to kick it back out to Dragic, and Dragic is going to take this beautiful little step back jumper. Unfortunately, it doesn't fall for him. As Giannis is now going to try to go downhill, but great defense by Robinson and Dragic, who just cut off the lane, and Giannis maybe stepped on someone's foot, or no, he's down, but that doesn't look injured. Kind of a scary play there.
Yeah, it's an odd way he fell there. It didn't look like there was very much. Looks like he's going to try and shake it off, though.
Yeah, he does, but this is so bizarre, right? It looks like he just jump stops himself and then, ooh, hyperextension on the knee. I don't know. We don't want to speculate, but nobody touched him. But it looks like he's up and okay. So luckily for the Buck star, we just resume play here as Middleton's shot is way off there. The step back jumper, as Fran would say. Fran hates that shot. Jimmy Butler down low, and Crowder's going to take another one. Yes! From the outside, another three-pointer. Miami hot in the early going. 15-14. Milwaukee still ahead, but Miami just pouring it on from the outside. The barrage is continuing.
Can't slack off on Crowder. He can make that shot, and consistently.
Everybody on Miami seems to be able to make threes, though. Middleton again coming up with the shot, coming up long on that shot. And Miami's going to have a chance to take the lead here down a point. Butler working on Giannis, gets it outside. Crowder's going to just shoot it again. Why not? Ooh, just long. Heat check on that one. Giannis thinking about three. Can he actually take this shot? Butler sort of daring him to take it from the outside. Drives in, goes left, finishes with the right hand. Nice finish by Giannis over Butler. Huh. Clyde, nice guy on the Twitch side of things. Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Thank you.
We always welcome nice guys.
We do always welcome nice guys. It's great. And hold on, I do have a. Where is the? Oh, I think I have a Streamlabs command for. Yes, I do. See, our guest commentator, Derek Nielsen from down in Australia, has got his own channel as well. Make sure to check that out, folks, and give him the equal amount of support. All right, 19-16 here. We have hit the 5-minute mark. I think this is the long timeout. So I wanted to bring up a rather controversial statement that was made earlier, where there was a tweet about how Giannis might be Scottie Pippen and he needs his Jordan. Have you seen after the play in the first two games? People have been sort of saying not clutch or not able to carry the team on his own. What are your thoughts here on this?
I've seen a few people joking on Twitter after that second game that you're saying, well, I hope Giannis likes San Francisco.
Oh, because of this, like, there's like this swirling thought that he may end up going to like Golden State or something, or like he might join Clay and Curry, right?
But yeah, that might be the thought, that he doesn't have that killer instinct. Sometimes you need that loss. Like the first year LeBron went to Miami, I felt he was a bit tentative. He's sort of behind Dwayne Wade in that rotation. And the first year he was there, I thought that's when he learned, okay, this is what I need to do to go to that next level, to be a championship level player. And then the next year LeBron came out and dominated, and that was the start of the Miami, those back-to-back titles that the Heat won.
Yeah.
So sometimes maybe you do just need, maybe not necessarily a Jordan, but someone just to show you, hey, this is the step you need to take. This is the thing that you can only learn from a superstar.
This is sort
of be that guy.
Yeah, interesting take, right? Because we've seen this happen, like it happened with Kevin Durant too, right? He was in Oklahoma City. They tried to do it on their own with Westbrook. They came up just short several times, and then he goes to Golden State, who's already won championships with Curry and Thompson and Draymond Green, and then he wins sort of his own championship, right? To your point of that somebody has to. It's very hard, I suppose, to do it all yourself, and so. Yeah.
Yeah, and Durant is another good example of that, because people were joking, oh, he's just going to, he's bandwagoning, just going there to get a cheap ring. Yeah. But that finals series, I think that was the first one he was there, a second one. I mean, he was finals MVP. He dominated that series. He's like a 35-point player all throughout the finals. So sometimes, yeah, I think you just need, there's something that only that level of player can teach you. You need this. This is what you need to take that one final step to be a top 10 player in this league, top 5 player.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. Granted, we might be having a totally different conversation this time next week if the Bucks go on to win the series, right? It's just like the narrative is such right now, because you're down 2-0, that everybody is like piling on the Bucks right now, even though Giannis, one of the best defensive players in the league in the regular season.
Yeah, and it's not like they're getting smashed either. It's not like it's Toronto putting 150 on them or something. It's just, you got a bit unlucky in game 2. Any single shot or any single turnover being undone, and you win that game.
Yeah. And yeah, sort of to be fair, game 2 was kind of called in the hands of the referees. But
you play well enough to take it out of the hands of the referees.
That is true. You don't want to play yourself into a position where the refs decide the game. As we have some of the bench players for the Miami Heat coming in, and actually for the Bucks as well. Tyler Hero now, our rookie out of Kentucky. I know we have plenty of Kentucky fans from our college broadcast here. He has been having a tremendous series. He had some very clutch plays and 3-point shots in game 2. So he is now on the floor there. Outside shot here, no good. Who was that exactly?
It's could it be Leonard?
Oh yeah, Myers Leonard. Oh, he did not play in game 2. Apologies, chat there. I had to figure out exactly who was on the court at this point. Oh, because Kelly Olynyk was playing in game 2, but he's there on the sideline. They just showed him in street clothes essentially. So as DiVincenzo here out of Villanova hits a 3, that's kind of his shot as it was in college too. Butler giving it to Hero. Hero looked like he had a straight line to the basket. Decides on a baseline jumper as well, but hits it nonetheless. Nice shot by Hero. I mean, he's just been playing tremendously well. Great contributions off the bench for him. DiVincenzo again driving on Crowder and is going to get called for an offensive foul. I think this is the right call.
Yeah, definitely lifted that elbow coming around the corner.
Oh, Iguodala is back in. All right, so we thought that perhaps Iguodala with a right ankle injury, which they're showing now, might be out of the game, but that is not the case. So he is back in.
Yeah, it's just showing that where he landed on Kyle Korver's ankle, the foul call was against Korver for moving in under the shooter.
Indeed, Iguodala thought about 3, fakes it out, kicks it back out to Leonard, and Leonard drills it. Oh no, Robinson drills it rather. Everybody on the floor for Miami can hit the 3-point shots. They're 5 of 11. Actually, 4 of 6 for Milwaukee. Their great shooting percentage just hasn't taken the volume of shots as Hero working on Middleton. Great matchup here. Middleton puts up a tough shot, doesn't go. Rebound down to Hero. Great defense by the young guard.
And well challenged there by Myers Leonard to create the room for Hero to get the ball.
Iguodala from the left corner, deep. Yes, another 3-pointer, and Miami has its first lead of the afternoon, 24-22. The Heat are ahead. This is sort of like the worst nightmare for Milwaukee. They're actually shooting pretty and playing pretty well, and yet Miami is still ahead. As Brook Lopez gets it in there, baseline turnaround hook shot for 2, 24 all.
Giannis getting ready to come back in.
Leonard thinking about 3 here. Leonard, in and out. Milwaukee really dodged one there. Brook Lopez once again going to take the same thing on Leonard. Takes the step back fadeaway jump shot from the baseline. Same play as before, same result. 2 more points for Milwaukee. He's got the last 4 for the Bucks. Oh, geez, Butler gets hit hard as he comes around the screen, and Milton actually going to get called for a foul.
Bit unlucky there for Middleton. I thought he was straight up, didn't have his arms in, but yeah, just moving into him a bit. You have to protect the ball carrier to some extent. But yeah, Middleton didn't do a lot wrong.
No. There has been some slight foul trouble for Milwaukee. Last game, there was 3 fouls on Giannis, Middleton, and one of the other players. They actually didn't end up materializing really into anything as the game went on. Like, nobody actually fouled out or anything, but the fouls late did matter. As Jimmy Butler steps to the free throw line, Derek, I think these are the first free throws we've seen this afternoon. We've had a pretty streamlined game so far.
Well, the Bucks have only got 2 team fouls. Actually, it's only 4 fouls total for the game, 2 each.
So maybe the refs got the message.
Yeah, hands off.
Hands off, swallow the whistle. I don't think this ref crew wants to be, sort of as notorious as the last one. 2 points there at the free throw line, so tie the game back up at 26, and that's going to be an offensive foul as Adebayo. Yeah, yes, no? Drops Bledsoe?
Now they're going to call it on Adebayo
They're
trying
going
to
to call
fight
it
to a
on a bio.
screen.
All right.
Graphic talking about the undrafted free agents that Pat Riley has brought in. Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah, rookie of the
going back a long way.
Rookie of the Year candidate, Patrick Nunn, actually, just second in voting to John Morant.
Giannis hounded under the basket there, can't finish.
And on the other side here, it is Adebayo looking for space down low, but he can't find it. Extra pass out here to Nunn, the aforementioned runner-up, Rookie of the Year runner-up.
Good extra pass to find him in the corner. Get that open shot, just couldn't nail it.
DiVincenzo. Oh, Giannis sets a high screen. Nothing going there. Bledsoe now driving amongst two Heat defenders. And Iggy is going to get called for a silly reach-in foul here.
Cheap foul. You're going to get called for that most of the time. Is Pat Riley wearing his mask upside down? Is that like a distress signal?
Yeah, like maybe. I think so. The NBA logo does look upside down.
It's a distress signal.
What, is he being held against his will? I was wondering if Mark Cuban was in the bubble, but I don't think he was.
I think he was for a bit.
Oh, okay.
No, Steve Ballmer is.
Yes, Steve Ballmer definitely is. I would expect nothing less from such a sort of hyped up owner as Steve. He definitely expects to be there. As Tyler Hero gets stripped going down, and ball back to Milwaukee in transition, but it goes out of bounds. Wow.
And then just talking about the draft placings on the current roster, Robinson and Nunn both undrafted. Hero and Adebayo going in the first round. Butler 30th pick. He got some value out of those drafts.
For sure. And I think this is one of the things that Fran was talking about. Talks about this Miami Heat sort of culture where everybody sort of buys into this team mentality, team first mentality. And I mean, they have some stars, but like they're just a really well built team.
And I think some credit goes to Eric Spoelstra for that. I think you could easily say, oh, when he came in, he had LeBron and he had Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. Of course, you're going to win. But they've been pretty consistently successful since then. He's done a really good job of building that culture.
Oh, Giannis misses both free throws. He's going to get called for an offensive foul, absolutely, as he lowers the shoulder on the rebound on the attempted putback on Adebayo. Yeah. This is an easy call. This is an easy call here.
Yeah, not much doubt on that one. 4.7 rebounds for Giannis early in this one.
Dragic takes a screen by Adebayo. Dragic takes a wild shot with the left hand near the baseline, and Giannis going for the rebound gets flung out of bounds. Foul on Adebayo, yep. Just returning the favor, I guess.
An eye for an eye.
Is Olynyk like injured or just not playing?
I wonder if it's just load management or something.
Maybe. Derek Jones getting ready to check in for the Miami Heat. Derek, he played a phenomenal defensive game in Game 2, especially on Giannis, when he got pressed into service after some foul trouble on the Heat side of things.
Yeah, he had a brilliant game in Game 2. It was a pretty good effort all around, but coming in to try and guard someone like Giannis is not an easy task, and anything you can do to restrict the star. And again, just when you can win by a point, anything you can do to gain that even a minor advantage. Yeah, Kelly Olynyk inactive with a knee injury.
Okay, there it is. So
Yeah.
Olynyk is not going to play. We thought it was Iguodala who was not going to play today, but
Iguodala was listed as questionable, but obviously he is in
he's
uniform.
he's very much in the game. As Bledsoe out here, final 22 seconds in the first quarter. Good pace, even quarter, both teams up and down the floor. We'll do a stats check when we hit the quarter time here. Tyler Hero has 8 seconds on the shot clock to shoot, and Hero's just going to go in with the left hand. Honestly, I thought he could have taken that one. Dragic with the 3 gets a better shot instead. Puts Miami up by a point as Giannis is going to try to go downhill with this one. Passes that off to Hill. Hill going to take a wild shot at the free throw line, and it goes down for 2. 1.2 seconds left, and that's going to be the clock. Unless the three-quarter court shot by Hero, which was close, sort of. Maybe not.
Might have looked good from his angle.
I think it looked good from his angle. All right, we've hit the quarter time. Derek, our stats king, let us have it.
All right, just taking a quick look. Leading scorers game so far. Milwaukee has Middleton on 8, Brook Lopez on 7, Giannis on 6, 4 for George Hill, and 3 for Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench, and then 2 for Eric Bledsoe. That's the scoring breakdown for the Bucks. Miami, a bit of a spread. 6 points for Robinson, 6 points for Dragic, 6 points for Crowder, and then 4 for Jimmy Butler, 3 for Iguodala, and 2 apiece for Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, and actually Milwaukee shooting a better percentage than Miami. But Miami, the difference right now, or at least what's keeping this within a 1-point game, the three-pointer, the three-point shot again showing up big for Miami.
Yeah, they're taking a lot more and hitting a lot more. Miami 7 for 15 from deep. The Bucks 4 for 6. So definitely been more of an emphasis. But I was going to mention that a few moments ago when Giannis and Jimmy Butler were on the floor. What Miami's been able to do, Jimmy Butler is absolutely giving Milwaukee nightmares because Butler will drive. There'll be 3 players collapsing on him, and then he can kick it out. And he's had Jay Crowder shooting a couple of threes. He's had Goran Dragic hitting threes. They are getting a lot of space because they are collapsing on Butler in defense.
Yeah, and so has that been the game plan here for Milwaukee? Did we see that in the first 2 games, or is this a sort of a new wrinkle that they're just trying to get the ball maybe out of Jimmy Butler's hands and say somebody else beat us?
Might well be, but so far that's not been a good strategy.
Right, it just hasn't been working.
It's been raining threes.
Yeah, I feel like to some extent that like it's very similar kind of the Celtics where you don't know who's going to like light you up on a given night, basically. If like you're facing Boston and here we've had multiple people step up. Obviously, Dragic and Butler have been doing the majority of the heavy lifting, but the role players for Miami have absolutely participated as well.
Mm. And you look at a Boston lineup, there's any number of players. There's a couple of guys there who could easily drop 30 on any given night. If you look at Tatum, you look at Kemba Walker, there's a bunch of guys there who can put points on the board in a hurry, and you can't easily concentrate on one over another.
Yeah, well, speaking about putting up 30, Kemba Walker put up 29 last night. We'll talk about that game at halftime because the way that it ended was, my goodness, that was. We've had some crazy finishes between the games on Wednesday night. This game, from this series, the Heat and Bucks series, and then the followed up by the Game 7, Houston and Oklahoma City, and then the Celtics Raptors. So like the 3 games sort of sequentially over the 2 days were all nuts, had all crazy finishes.
Yeah, like 3 games with a combined margin of 5 or something.
Yeah. I mean, this playoff basketball, and it's great. It's just entertaining and great to watch. I'm glad that we just haven't seen that many blowouts, aside from the Clippers.
Well, aside from that Clippers game, but I think Denver can come back in that series. I don't think it'll be quite so bad. I think Denver's just not rested. The Clips had that extra time.
Resuming play down here in the bubble here in Orlando. Hero is going to be the starting playing starting point guard at least as he takes a swing pass out to Dragic, but that shot, three-pointer, is no good. So the Bucks on the other side, DiVincenzo, bellissimo for DiVincenzo, hits the three there. 4-point margin for the Bucks. He's got 2 3-pointers early. Not much contribution from him in either of the first 2 games that we saw that we've been calling here, but that would be big for Milwaukee to get the production off the bench as Giannis tries to go downhill. Good defense by Jones, who gets hit in an unfortunate location and needs to take a moment.
We've seen a few low blows in the playoffs so far. OKC Houston series. I think it was the 4th game in that series. I think Chris Paul went the full Ric Flair on one of his defenders.
Oh, jeez. Giannis at the free throw line once again. He's gone 2 of 4. Now make it 3 of 5. He missed his first trip at the free throw line. Tonight, later on ESPN for all those in the States, it's going to be James Harden and LeBron James, the Lakers, who I feel like haven't played in literally forever. We'll be back in action finally tonight. We won't be broadcasting that one, but I will be watching. I'm just curious to see. There could be fireworks in that series, although I think the Lakers will just sort of. The small ball is not going to hold up for.
Yeah, if you're not going to run any player taller than 6'7", you're not going to stop Anthony Davis.
Yeah. It's just. So either way, unless Houston is just really bombing it from 3 and they're like, shooting something like 50%. That was an unfortunate turnover by Tyler Hero going to DiVincenzo. And what a block by Jones, who gets back. That was definitely on the way up.
Good defensive hustle at both ends. DiVincenzo anticipating the pass, and then Jones hustling back on defense.
Tremendous block here. Oh, yes. Clean. Absolutely clean.
And good work by Hero staying in the play as well.
And not getting fouled. Iguodala on Giannis, on the other hand. Giannis will draw a foul on Iguodala. Poor guy. Giannis just basically manhandling him down at the baseline.
But there might be something Giannis needs to do. Go the full sort of LeBron James bully ball. Because he's a difficult player to stop in that situation. Just use that strength and size. And go to the low block.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody on Miami who could actually match up like size, like as strength and height. Miami's been kind of doing like playing defense on him as a team, right? Keeping him out of transition, denying him the ball. But anytime he gets it going downhill, he finds a way to the bucket.
Yeah, he's going to win almost any one-on-one matchup in the NBA, so that's a tough one for Miami. But yeah, defense by committee.
He can't seem to win at the free throw line, but it doesn't matter because that rebound bounces out and finds its way into the hands of Bledsoe, who drills the 3, and now you have Milwaukee up 8. So I guess you'll take that possession if you're the Bucks. You missed 2 at the free throw line, but get a 3 anyway. Hero driving in, gets double team, pass to Jones, who gets pushed out of bounds. Ball still inbounds to Leonard. Leonard at the free throw line basically traveled, but it wasn't called. And Jones finds Jones in the corner for 3. The threes just keep on dropping for Miami, keeping them in the game.
10 assists on 11 made field goals.
Beautiful. I love that stat, by the way. That is great basketball. They're not. That is this kind of the team basketball that we were talking about that we see with Miami, and we've grown quite fond of it over the last several games here in this series. As Hero thinks about 3, but gives it up to Leonard, driving in. Oh, inadvisable pass there. Too much to handle for DiVincenzo. Yes, Bucks just go a little too fast for their own good, and yeah.
He had a couple of broken plays there. The other end, Kendrick Nunn driving baseline, probably should have taken that shot, but had to pass it into traffic. And then at the other end, DiVincenzo not able to finish in transition.
Hero once again to Jones, back to Hero. I think he is going to clear late to the basket. Oh, gets fouled on the way up. Oh, man, he saw he had a lane, his eyes opened up, and he went for it. Good aggressive play by Hero.
was hoping TNT would give us a replay of that one, but not so much. But again, yeah, good aggressive play. Go to the rack. It clears up the space for the three-point shooters. It's pretty good fundamental basketball. And that's why Miami's been so good to watch. It'd be a good game to show if you've got a junior team you're coaching, hey, this is how you create.
Harrell does hit the first one, and we'll take a second free throw in just a sec, as we have some subs from both sides coming in before the second take. And the second free throw is good. Yep. 9:30 to go here in the second. Milwaukee by 3, but down 2 games in the series. The number 1 seeded team in the East with one of the NBA's best records. That is an inadvisable shot by Kyle Korver, who just takes it coming off his screen, but great hands going the other way. This is Lopez going to try to go coast to coast, gets his pocket picked on the other side. That was beautiful hands by Nunn.
Teams just exchanging transition turnovers.
But the aggressiveness, again, from Miami, we've said they always swipe at the ball and try to create these steals. You saw it there. Drive to the basket by Dragic. Ooh. On this side here, the shot is long by Williams. Rebound down to Miami. I think both teams need to take a breather to set something up. Hero, no screen there. Hero's just going to take it himself. Jump shot is no good. Yeah, that was too quick. I don't like that shot by Hero. Kind of against the whole mentality you talked about team basketball.
Confidence is one thing, but that's ugly.
You
that take 3-pointer should have.
Yeah, how about the confidence to take just an airball 3 there by DiVincenzo? It goes way long.
That shot could have killed someone.
Nunn is going to go for 3 here. No, that's off the back iron. That shot was never going to land. It was wrong.
We got a mandatory timeout coming in about now, and both teams want it.
Yeah, because they just can't get anything. Team's playing a little too quick and a little unsettled, but I think they're going to take a breather here.
Yeah, very ratty sequence.
Yeah, 37-34 as we've hit the 7:46 mark here into the second. Milwaukee leading. Derek, what have you liked by either team?
Well, not that last couple of minutes.
Yeah, well,
pretty.
Other than that,
dreadful. That's dropped the shooting percentages a bit. Both teams under 47 now. But I think both teams are. Maybe it's a little bit of a chess game at the moment. They're sort of probing and working out what's going to work later on. That last couple of minutes, they've sort of gone to that sort of one-out stuff, and I think they're just going to refocus now and work out what they want to do again. So Miami's, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jimmy Butler come back in and they try creating for the outside shooters. And Milwaukee, I mean, they were getting good shots in the post. Brook Lopez hit that couple on back-to-back possessions. Like we said, I don't think they've got an answer for Giannis. I think probably you go back to the well and go back to that half court if you're the Bucks.
Yeah, so there was a stat that was shown on the broadcast. It was 10 assists to 11 made field goals for the Heat. And that was like 2 minutes or so ago as far as the quarter.
Yeah, and they haven't made a field goal since.
Exactly. Yes, they haven't made a field goal since that stat was shown because there have been no assists. So clearly there's a correlation here. Miami's still sitting at 10 assists for the 11 field goals. Milwaukee has 7 assists on its 14. They're able to play a bit more isolation. I guess Giannis can sort of play 1-on-1 whenever he wants to anyway. But he is 2 of 6, so with only 7 points. Actually, Middleton, the one with 8 points, leading the team. All right, as we are just about a minute before we pick play back up.
Yeah, I have the League Pass feed, so I just get they run occasional highlight reels and little sort of vignettes, and then I just get a shot of the timeout.
Oh, okay. So it's unfortunate that it isn't like the in the NBL where you can sit in on the timeouts. Where they have the coaches' corners and they like
Mm.
mic them up and stuff. I would
Oh.
enjoy that.
I think the NBA is a bit worried about the 8-second delay thing, so they don't do any of that live. But it is interesting to have that. They did it in the New Zealand League. They had their own sort of bubble competition back in June, July. Although the coach of the Auckland Huskies, the instant the cameras showed up, he would start swearing like a trooper,
Oh, so it was like intentional?
deliberate to get them out.
Totally deliberate. That's hilarious.
I think he got fined for it because then he wouldn't do any pre-game interviews either for another fortnight.
Ah!
They just wouldn't put a live microphone in front of him.
Oh, too funny. All right, as we've got the live feed back, we're ready to go.
So it was a mandatory timeout for Milwaukee. Miami will have to call one at about the 4-minute mark.
Oh, is that how it is? Is that how it's working?
Yeah, at the 8-minute and 4-minute mark.
Ah, each team it gets charged with one.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. Okay. But as you mentioned, the aforementioned Jimmy Butler is back in the game for Miami, looking to get a bit more creative on the offensive side. DiVincenzo gets it to Brook Lopez, and Lopez is going to take a fadeaway jump shot from the baseline, but will draw a foul. Jimmy Butler getting called for that one. And Spoelstra just rolling his eyes.
Unimpressed.
That was a perfect shot. Props to the cameraman for catching that one.
That'll be a Twitter GIF in a couple of minutes.
Yes, it will. Brook Lopez over the last two games, 24 points in the first game, 16 points in the second. Big contributions from him. Derek, I have to say I'm impressed by his versatility, his ability to hit the three-point shot when he has to.
He can do a bit of everything. He became a bit of a cult figure because he played for the United States national team last year, represented the US at the World Cup. Became a bit of a cult figure down here when the US played the exhibition games.
Oh, and did you beat us? Were those the ones that you won?
Australia won one of those. They split the series.
Yeah.
But in that first game, the crowd, there's 50,000 people in Melbourne chanting, "We want Brook."
Wait, so is he native Australian?
No, not even remotely.
No, not even. Okay.
I think he had the fro at the time, so I think he was just a bit of a cult figure.
Oh, gotcha.
And Greg Popovich eventually indulged.
Oh, they just put him in. As Wesley Matthews tries to get in front of Jimmy Butler. It doesn't end well for him as he finds himself on the floor in a blocking foul. And Butler at the free throw line here shooting two. The shot goes long off the back iron.
They've both gone back to the well here. The first play out of the timeout was Brook Lopez in the low post. This play is Jimmy Butler. The team's going back to what's worked.
As Butler tries to go for a second, the virtual fans providing some limited distraction, I suppose. Was effective for at least one of the two free throws. And inbound here to Hill, who will bring it up the court working on Hero. Decent matchup here, at least size-wise. Hero, good defense, forces a tough pass, and that is going to go off the fingertips of Lopez. Once again, to your point, they're trying to go back to the well, trying to get that ball down low to Lopez for the baseline jump shot or the baseline drive. And it doesn't work out this time for the Bucks.
And good D by Adebayo fronting him on that one. Trying to pass it over Adebayo's reach is not an easy task.
And it results in a turnover. Jimmy Butler, I thought he was going to hoist it. Ooh. Butler screening Matthews and Crowder. Never mind. Crowder over Williams. Hoists that shot. I think he's got three. Yes, he does. 3 of 6 from the three-point line. 9 points for Crowder. What a beautiful shot, and now it's Middleton on Hero. Middleton's got to pass this one up, and that's Matthews who returns the favor.
Now we're seeing some points scored.
because we're assisting. And here's Robinson coming off the screen. That shot was not assisted and doesn't go in. Clearly, there's a pattern here. Middleton going to bring this one back up the court. He's just going to hoist right off the bat, and it just doesn't even make it. That shot didn't even hardly made it to the rim. 4-point margin for Milwaukee. Butler. Good box out by Adebayo, but Butler can't finish the mid-range jump shot. Took it right there at the free throw line. Harrell gambles for a steal. Manages to recover in time. Matthews screening. Lopez back to Middleton. Middleton working on here. He's got 6 seconds on the shot clock. Going to turn around, fadeaway jump shot with the right. Yes. Good, beautiful
Good
shot.
Footwork, good balance.
Indeed. Hero tries to get it up to Butler. Butler finds himself right underneath the basket, but he's trapped. Pass outside of Crowder to Hero. Hero for 3! Great ball movement.
Good pass to find Butler down low, just a little bit too low for him to do anything with it.
But the presence of mind by Crowder, to the extra pass back to Hero, phenomenal. Just great
and they're
ball
collapsing
movement.
on Butler still. They were able to wheel it around and get out of that double team.
Adebayo may have had an opportunity down low. Hero was Hero with a heat check. That shot is way long. Probably took that one a little too quickly.
Quite literal hero ball.
Middleton again, long-range two-pointer from the opposite side is going to get fouled. A foul here on Butler again?
Yeah, that's on Butler.
On Butler.
I've only got one on Butler. It might be 2, depending on how quickly this updates. Iguodala picked up 3 in his very brief spell off the bench.
And apparently they're going to review here. What exactly are we reviewing? Oh, okay. All right, I know what we're... Okay. Oh. All right, Derek, you want to explain this?
So the foul's called on Jimmy Butler for moving underneath the shooter. You're not providing a space for the shooter to land. So they're going to argue, because I think Korver got called for this in the last game. It was actually given a flagrant 1 for reckless. It's not deliberate, but it is reckless.
Yeah, and this is the same play that Iguodala got injured on, and so the petition by Milwaukee is to have the play called in the same way, at least, right?
Now, do we know if that was a challenge or if it's just the referees looking at it?
And it is. I don't know if it was a challenge, but the refs did look at it, and they did assess the flagrant 1 for the potential for injury. The defender not clearing the shooter.
No, I think it's just the referees ruling that one. The play-by-play just says instant replay support ruling. So
yeah.
It's just the referees asking to check it.
Yeah, no challenge there. So Middleton will take 2 free throws and then get the ball back, and he will make the first of the 2. Well, at least they're consistent.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for is consistency. They don't have to be right, but do the same thing both
yeah,
ways.
You can be consistently wrong, and that's like okay. That's okay.
Yeah, players can work with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in, 4:48 remaining on my clock. Milwaukee keep the ball after the flagrant 1. 3-pointer goes up from Matthews on the left wing, and that drops. Lead is out to 8 for the Bucks.
So big possession there for the Bucks. 5-point possession in what was a close game here. Offensive foul.
That's a bad screen from Robinson. He was always going to get called for that.
Offensive foul ends poorly for Miami.
Not even disguising the fact that you're going to hit the guy.
Yeah, right. Giannis working on Crowder. Screen by Hill. Almost had Hero switched on to Giannis. That was switched back very quickly. And Lopez driving in does manage to get it to go off the backboard. Nice play as
That's not a play
Milwaukee.
you'd expect a big man to make either. That sort of baseline drive double pump.
He was quite acrobatic, actually, if I must say.
And Spolstra needed that timeout. Milwaukee just starting to gain some composure, and Miami looked a bit rattled there. Just a couple of silly, cheap fouls, and Spolstra will talk it over.
Well, as you said, it was sort of the required time, right?
Yeah, but he's taking it earlier than he needed to. But
Well,
because
there.
he's used one now, they don't have to take another one.
Yeah, yeah.
But they needed that stoppage. Miami just starting to get frustrated. You could see it on that screen from Robinson. That was not even attempting to hide the fact that you're going to hit the guy. And the referees were never going to call it any other way.
Milwaukee on a 12-3 run here that has seen them go up by 10 points. Is this the biggest lead they've had in this series?
Might well be.
Because all the other games have been called like extremely close. Or like not called. They've just been extremely close, right? And yeah. So I don't know. Maybe.
Just trying to see if my stat display gives me the worm, but at the moment I don't seem to have it.
The worm?
Oh, sorry, the bar graph showing the lead
Oh,
developing
yes.
over time.
Yes. The one going from bottom left to the upper right.
Yeah. In cricket, we call it the worm. Or sometimes the Manhattan, depending on what country you're in. Rebound count Milwaukee +4, 21-17. Offensive rebounds Milwaukee 4-1. Foul count 11-6 against the Heat.
Yeah, and here, so if you just look at the scoring, right? Scoring for Miami here, 9 points for the Heat, 9 points for the Heat's Crowder on his 3 threes. He's the leading scorer for the Heat and being followed up by Tyler Hero, who's got 7. But Dragic and Butler both at 6 and 5 points. So not much really going on offensively here for the teams, for Miami at least.
Yeah, Dragic, I think, had 6 at the quarter. Butler's only had that one free throw. Which isn't so. In the first quarter, that was all right because Butler was creating. He's got 4 assists. So he was creating on that one, but they just haven't been able to click the same way in this second period. Milwaukee's also done a good job of breaking up the passing lanes too. They've been a bit more active in deflecting passes and making sure nothing's clean.
Miami finally looking like the defensive team from the regular season. One of the NBA's best defenses. But hasn't looked that way in the last couple games.
And there's the stat: only 3 fast break points in the game total, all of them for the Bucks. Teams not getting out and run. Well, they've been getting out and running, but it's been ratty. They've been deflections and broken plays.
Yeah, and sort of like the fast break points kind of flipping between the two games. This is Milwaukee with 15 in the game 1 and 9 for Miami, and then 9 for Milwaukee and 17 for Miami in game 2. But Miami having the better of it in both games anyway. So I'm not really convinced that stat matters. Because Miami seems to win either way.
Somebody gets paid to make graphics.
It was a very nice graphic, to be fair. Brook Lopez trying to kick with his left leg, oddly there, as Crowder lines up another 3, but can't get that one to go. Rebound to Butler. Passes it off to Robinson and gives it right back to Butler, as Butler looks to make a move down low in the paint. That is a really difficult shot, but it is followed up by Bam, who puts it down. Gets the rebound and the points. The stat sheet for Bam. Finally, Miami gets a bucket. Gonna have to play some defense now as Giannis puts up a three. I think you're gonna live with that shot, to be honest. What you're not gonna live with is this: the offensive rebound and Middleton taking a mid-range jump shot for two.
Now 5-1 on the offensive glass.
10-point margin here as Middleton is just being the star for the Bucks. This is a nice mid-range jump shot just inside the free throw line by Bam, who answers that one. So bring the lead back down to 8. 247. Go ahead.
I was going to say that might be Bam in double figures. I got him at 8 and 5 at the moment. So if that ticks over, that might be 10.
Would make him the leading scorer for the Heat so far. Middleton working on Robinson. Middleton crossing over. Middleton step back jump shot with the right. No good. Came up short. Too much hero ball on that one. Dragic for the alley-oop! That's an easy way to get an assist.
Dragic up, Adebayo down.
Little bit of a different look for Miami, trying to feed Adebayo down low out of the 4-minute timeout. Maybe Spoelstra has found something here. Bit of a change is there. Brook Lopez just gets by Adebayo, and Adebayo not wanting to foul lets him go. Brook Lopez finishes there. Bad defense there by Bam.
Yeah, matador defense to some extent.
Offensive foul. And Bam tries to drive on Giannis. Giannis, one of the best defensive players in the league, takes the charge.
And the other end, Brook Lopez, 13 and 2, 5 for 7 from the field. And replay of that alley-oop a moment ago from Dragic to Adebayo. And then...
I don't know about this. Giannis is moving.
Unless they're calling it for the fend.
For the elbow?
Yeah, for the elbow.
Oh, boy. I don't think he was in legal guarding position, actually, on that one. Giannis going to take 3 again, and way off, actually. Hits the left side of the rim, and then the backboard, and then in the hands of Miami. Almost a steal there by Bledsoe, who gambles on it, but doesn't have to pay for it here. Robinson going right side, 3 collapse, and he kicks it back outside, and it's a wide open shot for Jones Jr., who drills it. Again, the collapse of the Milwaukee defense just kind of over-rotating. Every time a Miami player gets into the paint, Derek, as you said, it looks like 3 Bucks just collapse.
Yeah, and when Miami's been able to do that, they've been getting open shots. We got another offensive foul here. Another fender, a moving screen by the looks of it.
Yep, as Bledsoe draws that one, that's going to go against Dragic. Silly foul here.
Yeah, just that left arm fend in transition.
Come on, Goran. I'm pretty sure the announcer said the exact same thing. 5-point margin here. Less than a minute to go before halftime. The lack of free throw shooting this game has just got going. And we've done a half in an hour, basically. We're just under it since when we started, even with all the commercials. Bledsoe working on Hero and Dragic. That was awkward. Bledsoe kind of drives on Dragic, and Dragic just gives him his back.
That might be 3 on Dragic. So you got 3 on Adebayo. I had 2 on Dragic a moment ago, 2 on Butler, and 3 on Iguodala.
What is Dragic doing? What?
Lazy defense. It's one of those things where you're saying, I'm straight up, and it's like not even close.
Yeah, but you're facing the wrong direction. It's like it's like when you get called for pass interference. So like I didn't touch the guy. I was just like not even looking at the ball. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a barely attentive hip check, but it's definitely a foul.
Yeah. You're right. It is just like laziness.
And the refs are going to protect the ball carrier in that circumstance. They've shown that all series long.
Bledsoe with one more shot to go on his free throw attempts, and the shot is good. So still 7-point margin, but if you're Miami and you can get this thing to within 5 by halftime, I mean, you got to be, you're up 2-0. You're feeling good.
Yeah, one shot, one stop here. You got a differential of about 10 seconds between shot and game.
Yep, great point, because it's going to be Hero and being guarded by Middleton. Hero with a long bomb. Oh, that was halfway down. Oh, that is painful.
2 pieces of the iron just rattles out.
He shot it way over Middleton, and on the other side, they gonna call a foul. No, it's a good strip, and the Hero tries to put it in from half court, and it's not gonna go even anywhere close. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the halftime. Milwaukee 57, Miami 50.
Matthews was extremely unhappy on that last play. He thinks he was fouled, and I almost thought that fist pump by one of the players would draw a technical, but the refs have remained restrained.
Yeah, it's a much better job by the refs by this game, by the way, than in the last one, where it was an absolute foul fest and not enjoyable to watch as a result.
Yeah, Milwaukee's only got 6 fouls as a team. Miami's got 14, and that could be problematic. They got 3 players on 3 and 2 starters in that group, Dragic and Adebayo. Butler has 2.
Perhaps that might be why, actually, Hero has gotten so much playing time this game.
He just had foul trouble.
Yeah, just because of the foul trouble. Hero's played 14 minutes, which is as much as Dragic and is just 3 minutes less than Butler. But his contribution off the bench, he's got 7 points. Still, no Miami player in double figures yet. And we have 2 of the Bucks in double figures, both Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton. Derek, to your excellent point earlier, at the start of this quarter, we saw them go back to what was working, and what was working was Brook Lopez. They got to him a couple times early, but then so he got a couple easy buckets, and then they sort of went away from it.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe at this stage it's a bit too early to just ride Lopez for every single possession. But at the same token, you want to go with what works, try and maintain that lead, make Miami stop him, because we've said Miami, maybe not quite Houston Rockets level small ball, but they don't. I mean, Adebayo can play center, but he's a bit undersized at that position. So you go with what's working until they can stop it.
Yeah. Welcoming in all the viewers across both platforms here on the Twitch or the YouTube side, whichever one you're watching on. Thank you very much. Good morning to all those for our international audience, like Derek, who's broadcasting all the way from Australia. Good and happy, I suppose, or good early evening here in the States. Whether it's on the East Coast or it's sort of getting there here on the Pacific Coast. I did have a couple things prepared for halftime I want to get your thoughts on here. Just to catch up everybody on what's been going on around the league and keeping tabs on the rest of the playoffs. Toronto saved itself last night at the buzzer.
Yeah, they needed a buzzer beater to beat a buzzer beater.
Yes, effectively. Anunoby, the hero for the Raptors, swishes the game-winning 3 as the clock expires. Now, I didn't think you could actually get a shot off in 0.5, but I guess that's the minimum time.
League Pass is actually showing us that replay now because they've got a sort of halftime highlight reel. So they're just showing us the bits and pieces there. But yeah, visibly on the replay. So it just depends on how quick the score bench was with their reflexes starting the clock, I suppose.
Yes.
But yeah, 0.2 and the ball is clearly clear of Anunoby's hands.
Fascinating here. This, of course, after Kemba, to your point, had already completed a pass on the assist to Tice as he broke down a double team. It was a no-look bounce pass. It was one of the most incredible passes I've seen in a long time. and Tice gets a dunk totally unguarded under the basket with the half second left.
Yeah, I said in Discord, it's the absolute perfect play. You get a wide open dunk with less than a second to go on the game clock to put you in front, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, the only mistake they made on that play was that they left a half second on the clock.
Yeah, and if Tice is going up for the dunk, then the only thing you could do there is try and finger roll it and use up a bit more time. But then you risk missing it.
Right. It wasn't. Was it a tie game at that point? Yeah, it was a tie game at that point, right?
Yeah, so you go for the dunk, you go for the easy two, and then make a team beat you with half a second to go. And then the only mistake they really made on that final play was that they just didn't get a finger on the Anunoby shot.
Well, yes. So they bring in Taco
face.
Fall, right, to guard Kyle Lowry on the inbound, and Kyle Lowry gives up like 3 feet to the guy. And he still somehow manages to put it over Taco's head and get it to Anunoby.
The only way they could have defended that better is physically blocking the shot.
Right. Well, but in that case, so here's the thing for the Celtics, right? The Celtics were thinking at this point they're going to go up 3-0. Like, we've had folks in chat say, bring out the brooms. Because that was the way the series was going, to be honest, the way that the Celtics were playing. Kemba had 29 points, Brown had 19, and Tatum had only 15, which by his standards, I suppose, is actually like a normal human being.
It's almost a did not play coach's decision.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown, though, saying after the game that they had multiple chances to win and that the ending was a disgrace. A lot of criticism on himself and his team. But there was a defensive lapse. There was a defensive miscommunication at the end between Tatum and Brown because they left Anunoby open and instead double-teamed, I think it was Van Vliet, or they brought a double team on one of the other Toronto players. But there was a bit of a defensive lapse there.
I mean, double teaming Van Vliet on an inbounds play when they need a basket to win is probably not a bad move necessarily. I mean, Van Vliet is a clutch shooter in that situation.
Yeah, so he had 25 on the evening. He sort of maybe finally found something from three-point range. He was 5 of 13 in the first 2 games of the series. I mean, he's just hasn't been able to hit the ocean from 3. Definitely struggled there. So it was 16 for Siakam, 12 for Anunoby, no 3 of which bigger than the ones at the very end. Kyle Lowry played like a superstar, 31 points for him, and the assist on the final play. What do you think about the series going forward, though? I mean, if you're Toronto, like, I think you've got life. Like, we've got a series.
Yeah, it would have been really brutal coming back. I don't think anyone's come back from 3-0 down. I think that's a brutal statistic once you get to that point. But Toronto is definitely going to feel that they're going to have a bit of that championship swagger back. They know they can beat this team now. And we're going to have some really interesting games for the rest of the series. Because they're still the defending champs. I mean, they might be minus Kawhi Leonard, but they're still until somebody beats them 4 times, they're still the champs.
Yeah, and I don't know, I would be slightly worried if I was a Boston fan, because you'd be like, well, damn, like, that was our chance to put this team away, basically, right? And yeah.
I mean, Boston still has the talent to win the series, and they are still in front. They're still holding that advantage. But yeah, it'd be a little bit of a blow knowing that you had a chance to really put the team in a hole and you couldn't quite finish the job.
Yep. I expect to see Toronto come out firing. They'll play again tomorrow, but there will at least be a game 5, which will be on Monday, and we'll cover that one on Monday. That should be fun because that is going to be the Labor Day here for the States, so we have that off, actually. But yeah, just a sort of bizarre mental state, right? Because we've talked about sort of the mental state of players when they get into the bubble. Could you just imagine, you lose that game at the final second after you thought you had won it at the final second, and now you're just like going back to your hotel room and you're just like stewing. There's like nothing there. It's got to be awful.
I guess the advantage with the bubble situation is that that you talk about moving on to the next game, and it's like, well, then your chance for redemption is only 48 hours away. You don't have to
True, true.
stew on it for
You don't have
too
to
long.
travel. Funny enough, I suppose that game or sort of that shot, had it actually been played, would have happened in the TD Garden, which would have been,
Yeah, that would have been a Boston home game.
yeah, it would have been a Boston home game. All right. Unlike the first game of the night, the second game of the night was a bit of a no contest. Clippers routing the Denver Nuggets in game one, 120 to 97, behind 29 points from Kawhi Leonard, 19 from Paul George, 18 from Marcus Morris Sr. here. I was looking at the stats of this game, and I was a little confused, because you look at the stats and you look at the rebounds and they're even. You look at the turnovers and they're even. You look at the assists and they're even. And then you look at like the amount of shots, like the raw amount of shots taken is actually the same for both teams. The Clippers just managed to shoot 57%, which is astounding.
Denver only 42, 38 to 20 in the second quarter, and that's where the damage was done. At that point, the Clippers were on cruise control. They didn't need to do much else there. And then they ended up winning the third quarter again. So they had like a 24-point lead going into the final term.
Yeah.
And, you're not clawing back 24 in a playoff game is an extremely difficult.
Unless you're Luka Doncic, in which case, like, I guess, because the Clippers were like, oh, well, we've been in this situation before. We've been up 20, and, somebody on the other side decided to just go nuts, and they won the game. And, right, you had Murray on the other side, who's been capable of putting up 50-point performances, but Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers made him look human last night.
Murray
well.
looked tired. Like after that game 6, he was giving that post-game interview and he just looked exhausted. He had 50 in that game. And yeah, he just looked exhausted. And there was a clip doing the rounds on Twitter of him after game 7, the courtside reporter asking him, so when you come out on Thursday, and his shoulders just sagged, and it's like, we play Thursday?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, so there's both like the physical energy, right, to get up and go, and then the emotional energy of that game 7, which you saw there at the end when he was sort of consoling Donovan Mitchell. Ion Razor in chat saying that on the YouTube side, saying the Heat absolutely need this game. Yeah, I mean, to go up, this is exactly sort of what we were talking about with the Boston Celtics and Toronto, right? You'd say, well, Boston really needed that game, and just like, boom, nail in the coffin, because what the Heat, what you don't want if you're a Heat fan, is the same thing to happen to you that happened to Boston, and now all of a sudden the series is 2-1, and Milwaukee, who has more or less been there within striking distance for this series, right, is like right on your heels.
There's an NFL reporter, an NFL columnist I used to read named Greg Easterbrook, and he used to talk about, when you're in front, you have to consolidate that advantage. His exact wording is, you can't dance with the champ, you have to knock him out, to use sort of a bit of boxing terminology. And yeah, when you've got that advantage, you have to press it home. You can't relax, because you don't want to give a team, especially with Milwaukee's talent, a sniff. You want to go 3-0 up. You want to put them in a situation where, teams are at 0 and 160 or whatever when they're 3-0 down in a 7-game series. You want to press home that advantage. But yeah, I've always loved that phrase. You can't dance with the champ. You have to knock him out.
Yeah, it's like I guess it's like being in tennis and you're like up a break, and then you got to consolidate the break on your serve, right? At this point, Miami, remember, because this is like the home. We're not playing home and away because we're playing in the bubble, but the first 2 games would have been Bucks game in Milwaukee, right? At this point, so Miami has taken the home court, would have taken the home court advantage away from Milwaukee.
Well, the court is in Heat livery. All the video boards are in Heat colors. And
today, yes.
There's a little bit of home court. 1:55 left on the main scoreboard clock before we resume.
All right. So getting there towards the end. Another couple bits of news. I'm curious what you think, and perhaps folks in chat will also chime in here. Steve Nash hired as the Nets head coach on a 4-year contract. Nash, who has no previous coaching experience, kind of come into a situation with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. I can't help but think that perhaps there is some hope that his guard skills will rub off on Kyrie.
And I think they also want to play as coach to some extent, like Spoelstra when he had the LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh triumvirate. You don't need to teach those guys how to play basketball. What you're trying to do is manage personnel, manage egos, keep everyone on the same page. Not that I'm necessarily saying those players are egotistical, but you're trying to manage, keep everyone together, keep everyone focused. And Nash, as a player who's been there, done that, might well be the guy to do it. He does have a championship ring. He was a consultant for the Golden State Warriors for the last few years.
Yep.
But yeah, not a sideline coach in the NBA at this stage in his career. This is his first. I don't even think he's been an assistant coach. He's just been a consultant. So this is his first gig. And
Correct.
Jacques Vaughn staying on as an assistant. So they will still have that continuity in the program.
Yes, he was as you mentioned, consultant for Golden State when Golden State won the title, and so the hope there is that there's some relationship. That he had built a good relationship with Kevin Durant while he was in Golden State, and so there was sort of the management, if you will, of the Nets was sort of leaning in on that relationship as well. And obviously Nash being one of the star guards from the league, I think Fran has given Kyrie some criticism, especially as we see some of the guards like in Boston where you have Kemba, where Kyrie is a bit more of a ball hog, I think is what you would say. So maybe Steve Nash can teach him to not do that.
Well, I mean, and that's one of the things too, when you've got a bunch of superstars, you've got a Kyrie and a Kevin Durant. There's only so many shots to go around, so making sure everyone's knows the game plan is tough. And I think that's what they want from him.
Indeed. All right, as we come back here, 57-50. Derek, if you need a quick hydration break, feel free to take that.
Oh, good. I've got caffeine with me.
Oh, perfect. The caffeination break as we start and resume play. Actually, a quick halftime here. It felt like it went by decently quick. As the Bucks by 7. As Miami is going to try to go 3-0 here and has 24 minutes to get the job done. Jimmy Butler trying to back down Matthews, and Crowder is going to go for 3, and that's going to hit the front iron. Crowder, who was hot in the first half with 3 3-pointers, can't get that one to go, and Butler almost steals it. The 3 by the Bucks is equally poor, and that doesn't go either. So first possession for both teams, and both teams come up empty on their 3s. Dragic gets cut off baseline. Robinson gets double team in the corner, and Crowder's going to go from the same spot again, and he doesn't miss this time.
Crowder keeping his hot hand.
Well, if you fail once, try again. So Crowder gets it to go. Now his 4th 3-pointer. Great contribution from him, as it's a 4-point game, and it's Dragic being trying to guard Middleton, and he can't. Middleton puts that long-range 2 up over his head. And again, the assists. This has been the story of the game. Robinson can't get the 3 to go. Rebound down to Giannis. It's so interesting how as Giannis tries to come in, is a nice 3-pointer there. Brook Lopez hitting from range. How we've said that the Heat are trying to block sort of Giannis in transition. They build the 3-man wall when he comes in. Keep an eye out for that chat as you watch the game there at home. That shot, I think it was Dragic that hits the 2.
It was Dragic.
Yep.
But I think we're going to have a loose ball foul underneath, so there's going to be a question here as to whether the basket counts.
I think the basket should. The foul looked like it was called after the play.
Yeah, I thought so live. Let's go to the tape.
Let's not. They're assessing for a flagrant one. Why? What?
Unless they're looking for a sort of wrestling or hostile act, as the commentators love talking about.
The hostile act. All right, so let's see. Dragic puts up the 2. It's good. That replay didn't show anything. As Bam tries to go in. Oh!
Ooh.
I see what they're
comes
saying.
in to rebound, and then he sort of gets hip checked by, I think it's Matthews there.
I thought it was Bledsoe.
It
looked like Bledsoe got him, pushed him.
Well, Bledsoe's in shot, so I'll assume that that's who they're looking at.
It looked like to me that they were looking that Bledsoe came from behind.
Yes, because I was looking at Matthews coming from the side. But
okay.
But yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a loose ball foul against Milwaukee, so it may even be Miami getting the ball back here.
Wait, it's a common foul and Bam will shoot 1?
Yeah, 2 points plus 1, which is not the FIBA rule, but I think it's the NBA one.
Okay. Pandor on the YouTube side, thank you very much for the sub. Much appreciated. Thanks everybody for watching, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, your platform of choice, bringing you the commentary here from the the Bucks and the Heat, Game 3. We've just been covering too much basketball.
These all blur together after a while.
Oh my goodness, going back and forth. It doesn't help that they have the same colors. Literally, the two East, the semifinals of the Eastern Conference all are green versus red. The shot by Lopez no good, and the spin down low. Oh. Huh. Make sure if you're on YouTube, if you're enjoying the content, we've been live multiple times throughout the week, we pick kind of like 5 days to go live during the week. We'll be back on Monday after the Labor Day holiday on this weekend. So make sure to drop a sub on the YouTube side or a follow on the Twitch side. And also go over and see Derek's channel. We can put that in chat as well, as he's also broadcasting on the Twitch side of things. And
I may actually do the WNBA later on today. There's a top 2 clash.
Ooh, nice.
In about 2 hours' time, Seattle and the LA Sparks, 1 versus 2. They're a week out from their playoffs starting.
Oh, so they're still in regular season.
Yep. Oh. But the first 2 rounds of the WNBA playoffs are sudden death. There's only 1 game, so.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. That's like an NCAA tournament, actually. Steal by Miami, going the other way. Dragic. Yes, Dragic with the finish. Bledsoe has to back off.
Extremely poor off a sideline out of bounds.
Yeah, Dragic with the active hands just rips that one away. 5-point game here. Milwaukee ahead. Trying to claw back into the series. Almost does it again. Lazy pass by Bledsoe. Giannis just puts Crowder in the blender. And Crowder ends up on the floor. Giannis just asserting himself there on this side. Adebayo goes around the world below the basket. I thought he maybe going to try to reverse it. Robinson thought about the 3. Crowder also thought about the 3. Robinson will now take it. That is way too long. Rebound down to Giannis, and Giannis, look out. Oh, he's just going to step into a 3. Why? What? That is the wrong play. We'll get back to put the bookmark in that one. We'll get back to that. Dragic is going to go for 3 on that side, but can't get it to go. Rebound down to Matthews.
The 90s basketball fan in me who grew up watching, Olajuwon and David Robinson and stuff is just cringing at all the 3s.
Now he dives to the basket and it winds himself up on the floor. It's a 4-on-3 for Miami. So apparently he can't get it right on the other side. Butler, what a tough rebound down low in traffic and in amongst the herd.
Yeah, Milwaukee wanted the tie up there, but they're going to get called for the foul on the Butler rebound.
Okay, all right, going back to the bookmark. The settle by Giannis, why? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, the thing that's working for him is getting to the basket and forcing Miami to make stops. Don't settle for threes.
He's
It's
over
not that he
5 from
can't.
3. He's over
It's not
5.
that he can't make that shot. It's just that you go to the basket and create the space so that the defense has to play you differently, and then you can create that space later on because the defense expects you're going to drive, so they stay back, and then that gives you the room to take those shots.
Yeah, as Milwaukee takes its 8-minute media timeout here, as we have hit that stage. Yeah, I didn't like that shot at all. He's 0 for 5 from 3-point land, and he's only shooting 3 of 11 overall from the field. Um, but it looks a lot better when he's driving to the bucket there.
Well, if you take out the 3-pointers, he's 3 for 6, which puts him at 50%. 9, 10, and 6 looks all right on the stat line, but it's just the shot selection isn't there. And if he goes back to what's working, you don't tell a superstar not to shoot, but you go back to what's working, and then you can create for the fancy stuff later on. Get the fundamentals right, that'll create all sorts of problems.
No, I don't think you tell him not to shoot, but at the same time, you tell him if you do this, it could be better.
Don't shoot that.
Don't shoot that. Oh my.
Lopez and Middleton 16 apiece for the Bucks. They are the game-leading scorers. Jay Crowder leads the Heat with 12.
Yeah, Jay Crowder, who has those 12 points coming off of 4 3-pointers, is get back to it in this. Yeah, kind of picked up exactly where he left off. From the first half here in the second half. A couple of NBA awards I thought were pretty cool to go around as we have an opportunity here. Brandon Ingram from my Blue Devils, there, and there, yes, takes the Most Improved Player award, which I always find as a sort of double-edged award because it basically means that you had to be pretty bad last year or not as good last year to win it this year.
It's almost one of those things you give to a second-year player who's just continuing to improve. You can't give him Rookie of the Year twice, so you can give them MIP. That's true. I did see a few people complaining that Aaron Baines didn't get it again, but I think Aaron Baines has already won it once, if I recall. Phoenix were great. Yep. Phoenix were great in the bubble, but just started a bit too far behind.
Ja Morant takes home Rookie of the Year award in what is not really a surprise to anyone. No. He collected 99 out of the 100 votes and was quoted as saying, "Please let me know who the 100th person that didn't vote for me was, so that I can send them a DM and personally thank them for motivating me to try harder." Which is a great mentality to have. I gotta say, it's a pretty good answer for the kid. So.
Memphis were also pretty entertaining. Again, they forced that play-in game. They managed to get to, I say they got to the play-in game. They slipped just a little bit at the end against the Damian Lillard juggernaut.
Yes, and
they were really entertaining.
As a result, Portland got the privilege, I guess, of getting routed by the Lakers. But yes, it was a fun game there to watch, and Zion was third, so I guess that was the one sort of a bit of uncertainty there, where people were saying, well, he didn't really play enough games to be sort of up for the award anyway. But I think it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, there's other leagues where you would have got game by game sort of voting, and Zion would never have been a chance on that one just because of games played. But obviously when Zion's fit, he's just really tough to stop, and he'll continue to work on that.
As we come back to live action here, Jimmy Butler decided to miss both free throws, unfortunately. As
deliberately and with malicious aforethought.
Yeah, well, he hit 3 of them at the end of the game. The other, and Giannis just goes straight to the basket. So because we have the Lakers game coming up next, and we were talking about Anthony Davis, and basically nobody can stop that Anthony Davis when he decides to get going. That looked like a move that Anthony Davis moved there, which is exactly what Giannis needs to do, because really nobody should be able to stop him.
Yeah, that's what he needs to be doing, and that will create the space for the outside shot later on.
Speaking about outside shots. Jimmy Butler misses free throws but hits the three-pointer. 6-point margin. Giannis thinking about, don't take the three. He thought about three on Crowder, passes up to Brook Lopez, who
takes the three.
Who does take the three, and it goes off back iron, as you would say. And rebound down to Miami. Oh my goodness, Jimmy Butler driving in down low. Crowder, extra pass to Bam. Bam goes high off the glass. Beautiful.
Lopez just had that one step off him, so Adebayo could take that floater.
A nice extra pass by Miami. The ball movement, exceptional again. Count the assist and the bucket. The Heat are playing a full team game here. They just got to tie it up a little bit on the defensive end and get a little bit better on the shot selection. And here comes Giannis driving in. Strip by Adebayo. Beautiful defense. Now going the other way are the Heat, and there's a foul.
Foul in transition by the looks of it.
Here's the replay of Bam. Good defense staying straight up, and he gets all ball as he swipes down. Again, the Heat players just being pesky. What a pain. You hate to play against these guys because they're swiping everywhere. Always going after the ball.
I know there's a few assistant coaches in the NBL. There used to be a philosophy where you'd have an assistant coach tracking not necessarily steals and blocks, but just deflections. Every time you get a hand on the ball, every time a pass isn't clean, every time something is disrupted, coaches would be keeping that tally. So more of a, like the hustle board, except even more so. Just every time you make life more difficult for the offense.
Yeah, there's a team in college that does it. Oh my goodness! What a shot by Jimmy Butler! The off-balance three-pointer. Are you kidding? As the shot clock was going down. What?
To his left. I think he wanted contact, but made the shot either way.
And it's a 1-point game as Middleton, the step-back jumper is no good. It's a rebound to Dragic, and now Miami is might take the lead. Here is an 8-point run. 6 of them are from Jimmy. Jimmy's just going to take it himself. He's going to find his way to the rim, get his own rebound. Oh, and he's actually going to get fouled. Yeah, I don't think it counts.
No, they're just going to call it on the rebound. Yeah. But nobody boxed out Butler after the shot, so he did actually have a clear chance at a tip in.
Oh my! It was
only the foul that disrupted it. And then a replay of that fall away jumper on the previous play, the 3-pointer from the left wing.
That's a highlight as Jimmy Butler decides to make that free throw.
Yeah, they didn't give him the N1, but he makes the first of 2.
He makes that one. So do you guys have localized ads? Because right now I'm getting Burger King.
We just get the TNT feed.
So it does show the Burger King and the Goodyear?
Yeah, during the breaks, ESPN would show local advertising.
Oh, okay. All right. But you have Hungry Jacks instead of Burger King.
Right? I do have something for Burger Chat if we get a chance.
Lopez from the outside hits it again. Brook Lopez is turning into the Bucks' best 3-point shooter. I gotta say, he can hit them consistently between him and Middleton as Butler tries to drive in. Kicks it back outside to Leonard. Robinson now has it back to Butler, being guarded by Middleton, who denies him the baseline. Butler says, I don't care, takes the 3 anyway, he's going to rattle out. 2-point margin for the Bucks. I don't know if that was really the best shot. He kind of got stuck in the contested shot there. And Matthews.
Maybe a bit of a heat check.
Yep. Hill for 3. Hill for 3. Back-to-back 3-pointers for the Bucks puts them back up 5. A quick turnaround there as Miami had a 1-point lead and is now down 5. Wow, back and forth we go. Great pace of this third quarter.
And we'll have a foul there before Butler gets organized for that shot.
Budenholzer just can't believe it. Hero at the free throw line. So I got to ask, has Croc been okay throughout the COVID crisis?
Yeah, he's just going a bit stir crazy like everyone else, although he's got he's had his North Queensland Cowboys Rugby League membership, but then he hasn't been able to go to any games there either.
There you go. So Croc still hanging.
Still hanging.
Looking to make a triumphant return for the NBL season.
When the Australian League resumes, that will be the NBL has one more year on its deal with Twitch, so there will be games streamed later this year once they get underway.
Hero makes one of the two free throws, and it's a 4-point margin here. Lopez trying to get the ball to Middleton. Great defense, and he just has to put up a turnaround jump shot as Milwaukee would have gotten the rebound, but it goes off the hands of Middleton, and Middleton and Lopez are now sort of going at each other. Middleton definitely didn't like how that last play ended.
There were no Miami players in the rebound contest, and no Milwaukee players caught it.
Yeah. Miami sort of getting a little bit lucky on that one. Hero is wide open if he decides to take this shot, but passes it up to Leonard. I don't know why. In any case, here's Crowder for three, and yes, that is good. Oh no, sorry, it's Iguodala. I thought he had a foot in the line, but they may check that at replay. Right now it counts as a three, so it's a 1-point margin, and Hill just goes right by Hero and gets that lay-in to go.
Pretty floater in the lane from Hill.
Wow, Hero just got beat off the dribble. It's a little uncharacteristic. Hero's been has had better defense than that. Expect more. Double screen at the top as Jimmy Butler, gets stripped by Middleton. Taste of his own medicine, actually, there. Middleton down to Lopez, who just dives to the basket and gets it in. It's an and one.
Extremely low percentage play from Myers Leonard there. It was dreadful defense. The foul is basically a two-handed shove in the back from a defender who's already been beaten.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, good call. As you said, it's pretty horrific. It's egregious.
Low percentage.
Tell you what, the other players in Milwaukee have stepped up tonight. Giannis has not had to do this all himself. As you say, Brook Lopez here with 21 points so far. Giannis with only 11.
And Lopez 8 for 13 too, so good shot selection. He's been patient. Only 4 rebounds, but then Giannis has 10. So, and Marvin Williams has 8 for the Bucks. So he's getting help on that front too. Doesn't have to do the rebounding himself.
Yeah, I agree. Better shot selection, but his shots have also been falling. He's been making the 3-pointers, the best 3-point shooter right now on the Bucks team.
Mandatory timeout for the Heat. 3:37 left in the third.
There you go, as we have hit the under 4. All right. Wanted to welcome in all the viewers across both Twitch and our YouTube platforms. Hope you're all enjoying the broadcast. Great game here from the bubble. It is Game 3, Milwaukee versus the Miami Heat of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Miami leading 2-0, and Milwaukee trying to claw it back. Get one back and get themselves back into this series, looking good so far. The last sort of NBA award that we haven't been able to touch on, Montrez Harrell from the Clippers wins Sixth Man of the Year award. This is one I love because Sixth Man of the Year is basically first guy off the bench. Recognizing someone who's contributing, like basically isn't a starter, but contributes, is ready to go when their number is called. And I thought this stat was crazy. It's the third consecutive season the Clippers have the league's top 6-man. And the Clippers have now had the Sixth Man of the Year in 5 of the past 7 years. So, what a loaded bench.
And the Clippers really wanted Harrell back. I think he was late getting into the bubble. So they were extremely happy when he was cleared and he was able to play. They'll be extremely happy with that. And the Clippers have looked really good since his return as well. I mean, they were doing pretty well before, but they look fantastic now. And he is such a good player. He's one of those guys who can just come in, has enough size to be a menace defensively. He's been really enjoyable to watch.
The next game coming up after this one will be Game 1 of the Houston Rockets versus LA Lakers series. LeBron James, Anthony Davis finally back in action after a bit of a layoff after their sweep of Portland. Derek, you're going to take the Lakers in 4, or what have you got?
I say Lakers in 5. I think you're going to have at least one game where you have an offensive explosion from the Rockets and they get in a rhythm and everything drops. We mentioned it during the I was in chat, but we mentioned it during the stream the other day, that Game 7, Houston leads the NBA in 3-point attempts. They shoot something like 58 a game.
Yeah, it's
They've
absurd.
led the NBA in tray attempts 3 years running. And sooner or later, you're going to get a purple patch where they just hit everything. But I don't know how, with their lack of size. I mean, I talked about Anthony Davis earlier, but I don't know how you combat LeBron James, a player of that physicality. Because LeBron's no slouch in the low block either.
For
so,
sure.
You just grind it out if you're the Lakers. I don't know how Houston stops those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think Houston trying to use its speed, sort of an explosiveness, right, with Russell Westbrook, who hasn't quite gone off yet. He just got back, 2 games now?
Yeah, he's only been back a couple of games. He missed the first 4 or 5 games in that OKC series.
And here are a couple of replays of Giannis driving to the hoop. Remember, he did have a bit of an awkward landing. Was that in the first quarter on the right leg? And so maybe that has something to do with why he hasn't been driving to the basket, or maybe he's sort of favoring the 3-point shot a little bit more. But he has the ball in his hands now, and he's driving on Bam, and he just backs him down and puts it in. Looked pretty healthy on that play. 8-point margin for Milwaukee. Boy, that was what we've been wanting to see from him. And now a block down low as Dragic gets swarmed by 3 Bucks, and Milwaukee going to have an opportunity with Middleton. That shot hits the front iron. Boy, they dodged a bullet on that one. Going down 11 would have been trouble, but it's still an 8-point margin here. Screened. Oh, I thought Hero got hit. Hero tried to take a mid-range jump shot, got hit. 7-0 run for the Bucks, make it 9-0 after the assist from Giannis to Middleton. 10-point margin now as Spoelstra. Well, if they needed a timeout, now would be a good time, but they just took one. Nice pass down low to Hero, but blocked by Giannis. And Giannis going the other way with it, fouled by Bam. Wow, this action here by the Bucks, Derek, has been.
All right. What's your clock, Ritz?
2:35. Sorry, folks. It's sometimes.
That's all right. No, my stream's out of.
No, I'm 2:11 actually. 2:11.
2:11. I've got Giannis at the free throw line getting ready for 2.
Yes. Sometimes it's a little difficult to sync streams halfway across the world.
I actually have a sneaking suspicion that it's something TNT is doing, so that the return of the games exactly lines up with the end of the ads. Because it's just a couple of seconds here and there.
Yeah. Yes, it could be.
Because remember, I'm on League Pass. I'm not watching on TNT, so we get the in-arena vision.
Got it.
So we don't get the ads, and then TNT will come back, and then suddenly you'll see a replay of the last 5 seconds of stuff, players coming back off the bench, like minor continuity errors.
Reminder for folks, this series will continue on Sunday, regardless of whether it's 3-0 Miami or 2-1 Milwaukee. We will have Game 4 on Sunday as Giannis hits both free throws, and the lead is now 12 for the Bucks. Things starting to slip away a little bit here for Miami. They need an answer, and they need it now. They've been in this position before in this game and have managed to hit a timely 3. We'll see if they can do that now, and it's a foul on DiVincenzo as he tries to go around an Adebayo screen.
Afternoon game, I think, on the Sunday for Game 4. I've got it. Well, my times are in Australian Eastern, so I've got it as a 5:30 a.m. start on Monday morning. But
yes, the Sunday game's usually a bit of a
3:30 on ABC.
Yeah, the Sunday game's usually a bit of an earlier start as Jay Crowder is now making his way back into the game. Crowder, who has been hot from 3, replacing Iguodala. He's got 4 3-pointers, really a spark for Miami here from the 3-point line. Jimmy Butler still on the bench, and Hero going to take another free throw, trying to make this back to a 10-point game. Miami really needs to hunker down here on defense because Milwaukee has been having its way with things here so far in the second.
I think they've just lost their way a bit offensively as well. They haven't quite been able to convert at the same clip. And then Giannis drawing another foul.
Yeah, initially pretty good defense by Crowder there, and Giannis actually ends up blowing by him there, going left. And it's going to find his way to the free throw line again. So he's got 15 points, 8 of which come in this quarter. And we said he looked a little sluggish early, but he seems to have found a rhythm as he's getting back to his bread and butter.
Yeah, again, not settling for those 3-pointers. He's driving and creating havoc because nobody can stop him down low.
As one of the virtual fans seems to be playing with their dog on the camera, whose head has now just disappeared.
The magic of Zoom and green screens.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of pets in the courtside seats, the commentators have pointed out on a few occasions.
Giannis hits them both. It's back to a 12-point margin here as Dragic is going to drive into the lane. Nice high floater, but it won't go. And Adebayo tries to come down with a rebound and will be a tie-up. So actually, this is going to be an interesting jump ball to see because it's at least fair.
Adebayo and Giannis in the jump.
At least it's a kind of a fair height difference for these two.
Actually, all the jump balls has been weird coming from FIBA rules.
What exactly is the FIBA rule, though?
We play the arrow.
Like college.
Yeah.
Jump ball, and Adebayo gets the better of it as the possession is retained by Miami. Screen by Adebayo on DiVincenzo as Hero tries to go for 3, and he can't get it to drop. Shot did look good, but it was just off. DiVincenzo driving in on Hero, and he lays it in. I think Hero cheated defensively there, jumped the lane, and DiVincenzo just took a left.
That gave him the space.
Yep. Dragic driving in. Dragic gets it to go. Dragic has been quiet this half. I feel like I've called his name a few times, but he just hasn't been putting the ball in the bucket as that just goes off Giannis's foot.
And he's not complaining. He knows full well that was a cheap turnover. Yeah, Dragic only 12 points, 5 for 13.
This DiVincenzo versus Tyler Hero play looks something like straight out of college ball. Like you would see that in the NCAA. It's kind of funny. That looks like a typical college play.
40 seconds left in the third, 15 on the shot clock for Miami.
Dragic gets it outside, and the three-pointer there, no good by none. Rebound to Giannis. There's only about a 4-second game clock, shot clock differential, and I think Milwaukee is going to be more than happy to dribble this to the end and try to preserve the final shot for the quarter. So here we go. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and Giannis is going to try to back down Bam, who gets it to Lopez, and Lopez puts up a long 3, hits back iron, no good. Tyler Hero is going to try to advance this ball to Crowder, and Crowder is going to put up a last-second shot, but no good. Tried to do his best at a Anunoby impression there.
Yeah, both of those. I mean, Lopez had to put that shot up. There was under 2 on the shot clock when it went in the air. So probably not the shot they wanted late in the game, but at least they managed to run enough time off the clock to make Miami take something awkward.
And we have hit the end of the third. 12 minutes to go to see if Milwaukee can push this thing to 2-1. And right now they are looking like that is going to happen. Derek, give us the key stats here and what you're looking for here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think they've gone back to what's worked for them. Giannis up to 17, 13, and 8, so triple-double watch for the Greek Freak. Chris Middleton on 18 and 7 assists for Middleton. 22 points for Lopez. They're the 3 in double figures. And then you've got Hill 9, DiVincenzo 8, Bledsoe 7, Matthews 6. So you're getting some contributions there. A bit of a spread. Miami, that shooting percentage has now dropped. They're only 41% for the game. Still 38% from deep. And still only 10 turnovers, interestingly, but they just haven't been in sync the same way. Actually, what was that assist count? It still looks good, 19 assists on 25 field goals, but they haven't been scoring at anywhere near the same clip. 5 players in double figures for the Heat. Butler 13, but has been quiet. And still only has the 4 assists. He had 4 assists midway through the second. And now we're at three-quarter time. 12 points for Crowder, all from the perimeter. 12 for Dragic, 10 for Adebayo, 10 for Hero, 6 for Robinson, 6 for Iguodala, and 6 for Derek Jones Jr.
Yeah, I feel like Dragic and Butler have just kind of disappeared in that third quarter.
Yeah, relatively low turnover count, 10-8. Miami with 2 more turnovers. Points off turnovers, 18-10. So Milwaukee plus 8 on that one. Foul count relatively low, 18-12. After there was I think it was 51 fouls total in that game the other night, but only 30 so far in this one.
51? Wow.
So
yeah, that is pretty nuts.
Hopefully the referees haven't swallowed the whistles because they've got that little bag on them to prevent airborne saliva. That would be a choking hazard, I suspect.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes, it's to prevent airborne saliva.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Even the smallest details there. That's quite. They've thought of it all, actually. I got to give them credit. Give them credit for that. Getting ready to resume play here in the fourth and final quarter for the Bucks and the Heat, Game 3. And so, Derek, if you're Miami, you find yourselves down 12. This is sort of a spot you haven't. Remember, you're 6-0 so far in the playoffs. You swept Indiana. You basically more dominated, more or less, except for Game 2 maybe. But now you find yourselves down. How do you get this W?
I think you've got to go back to more of that team game. Pass the ball around. Don't have that sort of one-out offense, because that's what was working in that first quarter. You've got to be a bit careful about the passes because Milwaukee is starting to play the passing lanes better. But I think Miami goes back to that situation where you've got Butler running the offense. You try and use him to create space. Defensively, they're not too bad. I mean, they've been able to break up passes and make things difficult. But the hard part is going to be they're going to have to play defense by committee again on Antetokounmpo down low, and just make sure that he doesn't get to anything easy. Make him shoot free throws, but don't give him layups or dunks. Otherwise, you're going to go down 20 before you know it.
Yeah, not the best free throw shooters, or perhaps you would prefer to have him at the line. I'm at 11:40 now as we've resumed play here. And the first possession of the fourth quarter does not go well for the Bucks. Ends up in a turnover off an attempted rebound. And Dragic is now working on Hill. Dragic going to try to make something happen. Drives baseline out to Hero. Hero thought about taking a shot, but gives it to Crowder instead. Nice shot fake back to Hero. Hero's going to just jump into this one for 3, and that's the shot that they were looking for. Miami, big shot by Tyler Hero, as now the lead is back down to 9.
And again, just that extra passing, able to create space for Hero. Wide open 3.
He nails it right as the shot clock expires, and here's Bledsoe, who thought about the 3 on Nunn, and Nunn blocks it from behind.
Good help.
Bledsoe, I don't feel like we've called his name at all tonight either.
He's been there doing bits and pieces. He hasn't been the guy they've needed on offense.
Well, we'll call it there, because that Bledsoe puts up the alley-oop pass to Giannis, who throws it down. That's an easy 2 off the alley-oop inbounds.
It'll be his 3rd assist of the game.
Dragic slips, almost gives up the ball. Hero recovers it for Miami, and Nunn tries to drive baseline, puts up the left-handed jumper, and that is good. So trading buckets here with the Bucks in the early going of the fourth.
Miami won't mind that pace. You can just chip away. You've still got 10 minutes.
Crowder, again, the matchup between Giannis and Crowder. Crowder denying him right, or left,
Pretty
rather.
pass.
Beautiful pass by Giannis. What was the triple-double going to be with assists?
I think it was the assist. I think that will be the triple-double now. Oh, no, they've got him on 9 on TNT's graphic.
Yes, 9.
Bounce pass to DiVincenzo in the key, wide open for the dunk.
Oh, Bledsoe almost strips it from Bam, and it's a reach-in foul is actually going to be called against DiVincenzo.
I think the first strip was fine. The second, there's a replay of that bounce pass from Giannis. I think the first strip was fine on the other end, but the second one is where they picked up the foul.
This is a great pass.
Yeah, just had the seal on Adebayo, enough for him to go up for the dunk.
Giannis has shown up for sure here in this third game. Playing like the MVP that he is. The shot there, in and out for none. Rebound down low. Oh, Giannis tries to slam the block on Adebayo, but gets called for the foul.
I don't necessarily mind that, though. It's in the fourth quarter. Giannis is starting to make a statement, not necessarily scoring, but he's taking over the game. He's rebounding, he's passing, and now he's going to say, well, I've got some fouls to burn, so you're not going to get easy shots. I've got him on 2. It might tick over to 3 in a moment, but no foul trouble.
No, I totally agree with you. I would, just lay it on.
This free throw interval is brought to you by a suspiciously beer-like substance.
Huh. Adebayo once again for his second free throw and connects. So basically, Miami has managed to keep the lead within arm's length. 9 points. It's the current lead so far. They haven't been able to bring it below that.
No, it's been around 9 for a while.
Giannis once again on Crowder. Is he going to come up with another assist or no? He's going to take the shot himself, and that will hit off the front iron. Good defense by Crowder as Hero playing point now. Gives it to Dragic. Dragic is going to go for 3. That shot is just short, but the tip in is good by Butler.
No boxing out, and he had prime position right underneath. Easy tip in.
I was going to say, where is Butler right now? And there he is. Right on cue as Bledsoe goes for 3. That's a long 3 right from the top of the key, but it hits off the left side of the rim, and the rebound is back to the Heat for an opportunity here. Nice pass outside from Hero to Dragic, and Dragic just drills it. Wide open shot, and Dragic has got the 3.
That's going to bring the timeout from Milwaukee.
Absolutely, as the lead is now 4. You said it at the intermission. What does Miami need to do to win this thing? They need to get back to that team basketball, and the assists are flying now for the Heat.
And that Butler play is interesting. He doesn't have to be. They're not making him the focal point of the offense at the moment. They're focusing on guys like Dragic, and maybe they're forgetting a little bit about Butler because he was wide open for that tip in. There was no boxing out. Nobody knew he was there until he'd already tipped in the ball. So having him hidden a little bit on offense might help Miami for a few minutes, and just to get Jimmy Butler back in the rhythm of the game. And then, he certainly doesn't lack confidence, but once he gets firing, that could be very dangerous for the Bucks.
Marcus Antello on the YouTube side of things saying Dragic in chat. And yes, Dragic is making a statement here. I have him with 15 points tonight, tied actually with Butler. Once again, very balanced scoring for Miami. All 5 Miami players currently on the court are in double figures.
The only starter not in double figures is Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, and he's got 6. Right now, Hero looks like a starter. And they're playing the smaller lineup here. On the other side of things, though, you've got 4 Bucks in double figures, although the scoring is pretty much concentrated to either Giannis, Middleton, or Lopez. We haven't really called Bledsoe's name very much tonight, although he did just have a very nice alley-oop pass to Giannis.
Yeah, 2 for 9. But when you're getting the MVP involved in the game, if you're being paid money to pass it to the MVP, then that's what you do.
Hey, that's an easy strategy. I would totally take that strategy.
I'd take that paycheck.
Yes, I'd take that paycheck
I,
too.
I'd do it for half the money.
Well, I'd do it for less than that. In any case, resumption of this series will be on Sunday. It's a bit of an earlier tip-off, but they will play Game 4 on Sunday. And so basically, the series now at this point it is Lakers Houston and Miami Bucks on one particular night, and then the alternating night will be Celtics Raptors and the Clippers and Nuggets. The Clippers putting the hurt on the Nuggets last night with a convincing win, and Toronto managing to claw one back from
And
the
claw
Celtics.
is the word.
Yes. Well, they are Raptors, right? So they can claw.
So I've got that as a 6:30 start tomorrow for Boston, Toronto, and 9 o'clock for Clippers, Nuggets, both of those on TNT in the US. And then Sunday, I think that's a 3:30 p.m. start for Bucks Heat Game 4. And then an 8:30 Eastern start for Lakers Rockets Game 2, both of those on ABC. Check your local guides. The Saturday night games in the US are on League Pass here in Australia. They are not on ESPN. The next ESPN game after today is Lakers Rockets Game 2 Monday morning.
There you go. As they're doing a little mic'd up with Jay Crowder here, who has been hot from the three-point line. Milwaukee now had to call a timeout as Miami has been a bit of a run and has shrunk the lead to 4. Nice shot there by Milwaukee, extends the lead back to 6. But if you're Miami, you have to believe that you have a bit of momentum here and some life in the final period. Butler, what they call here? Chief foul on Lopez?
Yeah, cheap reach-in foul, I think.
That's unfortunate.
TNT just showing off some of the three-point shooting. Maybe it was a defensive 3-second because there's no lineup.
Yeah, must have been. As Butler goes to the free throw line for what is effectively a technical free throw and makes that one. So 5-point margin. As there we get a shot of Robinson isn't really in his jersey. I think Hero is going to stay for the remainder of the game, if you ask me. He's been playing quite well today. And here's Jimmy Butler going to go for 3. Tried to get to the bank, but Jimmy Butler gets his own rebound. How do you let that happen?
Surely Budenholzer would have mentioned that in the timeout after the last Butler tip in. You've got to box out Jimmy Butler.
And now he missed the 3-point shot, but he hustled and got his own rebound and earns himself a trip to the free throw line.
That previous free throw was indeed defensive 3 seconds against Brook Lopez.
There you go. Wow, so Butler's going to end up with a 3 points out of this possession anyway.
Effectively a 3-point play.
Yeah. It's like, except he's going to miss that one.
2 for 3.
2 for 3. I was going to say it's like an old-fashioned 3-point play, but like there's nothing old-fashioned about it. It was just bizarre. Lopez takes a step inside the 3-point line and passes it back up to Bledsoe. Bledsoe wants him to dive in, and now he's on Butler, and he does get Lopez the ball, but stripped! Butler and Lopez gets it back. Lopez puts up a really tough shot that goes off the front iron, and Adebayo is in a perfect rebounding position. And Miami can now push with Giannis on the bench. Milwaukee Bucks look a little cold. Crowder to Butler. Dragic. Oh, Bledsoe swiping at it. Give it back to Butler in 3. Butler just driving in. Butler gets fouled on the way to the rim.
Better sequence from Miami. That last shot by Lopez was with less than 2 on the shot clock. So Lopez sort of had to put up a fadeaway jumper after losing the handle. And then down this end, now Butler's getting into the game, drives, draws the foul. Couldn't quite get it over the rim, but gets shots.
Miami playing. We also said that Miami really needed to hunker down on defense. They're playing much better defense here. There's been 2 possessions, as you've called out, late here in the recently, where Lopez has put up shots with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and just they've been sort of been wild shots.
Yeah, and again, you're trying to disrupt passes. Don't. It's okay if the defense catches it, but don't let them catch it cleanly. Make them get disorganized. Make them hurry. Just keep them off balance.
Oh, and Jimmy Butler can't misses the second free throw. He can't even believe it himself, honestly. He kind of throws his arms up and says, "What the heck's going on here?" He hasn't been just kind of been mediocre at the free throw line. As a double team on Middleton. Middleton gets it to Hill. And then Hill gets it outside to Lopez. Lopez driving. Butler gambles on the steal, but they do get it. And Butler is just going to flush it in transition. Timeout again if you're Milwaukee.
1-on-none fast break for Butler.
And here we go. Wow, Miami is looking good late. They have turned it on. I mean, what have they just been saving it? Like
that should be a steal for Butler. He managed to knock it loose. And then one of his teammates, actually Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was. I know Butler swiped at it, but I didn't think he got it.
Yeah, so Butler got forced the ball loose. Hero cleaned it up and then throws the outlet. Butler's already halfway up the court by the time the ball gets to Tyler Hero.
Yeah,
so
that was
Hero gets the assist. Butler gets the steal and the dunk.
Sensational defensive play there. Miami is just taking it to Milwaukee as Milwaukee's star Giannis was on the bench for the last 2 minutes, really. Miami has absolutely taken advantage of it. I think that Miami's probably going to have to go the distance with Dragic and Butler, though. If you ask me, I don't know if Jay get Giannis back in there, and you don't want Milwaukee to go on its own run here.
Unless you've got a few timeouts you can burn to get substitutions in and maybe get them 30 seconds here and there. But I would agree they are absolutely driving Miami's offense at the moment. You need them on the floor. And certainly you need at least one of them at all times, if not both.
Yeah. Butler, who has just put himself at 20 points for the afternoon and 7 rebounds. Adebayo.
just as we were talking about Butler being invisible.
Yeah, but for real though, like he's just come alive here in the last 2 minutes. 2 rebounds that he's gotten essentially. Well, there was one he got his own miss, but then the putback rebound before that, he's been everywhere.
And yeah, just sometimes it just takes that. You get that one easy shot, you get that one to drop, and suddenly a player is just unleashed. And for Butler, it was just that tip in, finds himself in good position, gets the easiest possible shot. And then since then, he's just been unstoppable.
And as to your point, it's not like Butler lacks any confidence.
No, but just to get back in that rhythm. Yep. 27-4 for Butler at the moment.
Adebayo also having a very nice game. 12 points, 12 rebounds. He's got the double-double, and he's just cleaning things up down low. Big defensive rebound there on the previous possession, as it's still a sort of a 3-man show for the Bucks between Middleton, Giannis, and Lopez, although Lopez off the floor at the moment.
And I wonder if they try and get Adebayo a bit more involved here. Again, if the defense starts collapsing on Butler, we might see a replay of what we had in that first period where it leaves players like Crowder wide open, especially if Dragic is starting to hit shots. That could be extremely dangerous.
Yep.
Field goal shooting for Miami's picked up. They're almost at 44.
Getting ready to come back to live action now. We have just over 6 minutes to go, just over half the quarter to go. Here, they're showing about a bit of a graphic of the regular season MVP and how they have not fared well in the playoffs.
Some MVP version of the Wheaties curse.
Yes. As DiVincenzo tries to
not quite the Madden curse, but
DiVincenzo tries to put one up high off the glass, and he can't get that to go. We'll definitely want that one back. Miami now with an opportunity to take the lead here on this possession with Iguodala in the game now. And right, Iguodala, Robinson, Hero, and Adebayo with Butler. And Butler's going to have to put this up with 3 seconds on the shot clock. And he gets a friendly referee call as Middleton gets called for the foul. Is that 4? 4 on Middleton?
I have a feeling it might be 5. I've got 5 on Chris Middleton. So 6:16 left on.
Oh, wow. Wait, 5 on Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Wow. Butler manages to hit the first of the free throws. Even game, 93 all.
All right, we're back in sync. So 6:16 left and tied, and Butler 1 free throw to come.
And Butler does manage to hit that one. So Miami once again with the lead. And boy, if you're the Bucks, I have to say you might feel a little tight here coming down the stretch, as Giannis is going to try for 3 and he still can't get one, and that hits the score clock. So that's going to be out of bounds. Giannis just seeming to settle there on that possession, not the one you wanted if you were Budenholzer.
That is exactly the thing that we were telling him not to do.
Wow, he may have a triple-double here with 1 more assist, but my goodness, the shot selection has been poor.
Triple-double with missed 3s.
Yeah, at the way that this is going.
None for 6 from the perimeter.
Milwaukee has been leading this most of the game. Oh, and Butler with the alley-oop. Sensational pass. Was that from Iguodala?
It was Adebayo, I think.
Oh, from Adebayo.
But it fell in, so.
Hill claws one back for Milwaukee. It's a 16-4 run for the Heat. Iggy, oh my gosh, Iggy just crosses over at, oh my, Giannis, and then the pass to Adebayo and the finish. Oh, Giannis did, wow. As one of the best defensive players in the league. Did not look good on that one, and Hill tries to roll in again, and yes, Hill providing some spark off the bench for the Bucks. Get the brooms out, boys, says Darkin. Woo!
Maybe a little optimistic, but Miami is coming home with a wet sail.
Tyler Hero for 3. Oh, goodness, just off the back iron. They're going to reset the shot clock, though, to 14, but Robinson says, I don't need it. I'm just going to take that one. Good, hold off there by Giannis. Giannis is just going to go coast to coast with the left hand in the finish. 99-98. That's exactly what they needed.
Didn't seem to land cleanly after that one either. Referee have got a stoppage here in, I think that's Eric Spoelstra calling a timeout. There's a stoppage
yes, I think it's a timeout.
Back of the shot.
Yeah, this is Spoelstra with a timeout here. Chad is already saying that Miami is going to sweep this one. Giannis says, I don't think so. And we are going to have one heck of a game as we go down to the final 5 minutes here. We might be in for a treat.
This is only a 90-second timeout, so we're in the final few minutes of the game.
Okay, all right. I have 60 on my side.
Well, it's ticked down to 55 now, so I think it started at 90.
Okay, all right.
So we're beyond the zone of the 3-minute timeouts.
Thankfully. I know Chad is probably rooting for the Miami Heat. We've had a bunch of Heat fans come in throughout this week as we've been doing these games. And I have my Miami Heat red, and you've got your black and red going, so... even though we'd love to see longer series because it's more content, it does create a bit of drama if Miami were to go up 3-0.
Actually, I've got my Townsville Heat scarf. I could go get that, although the colors are totally wrong.
It's a little warm for a scarf. Although, wait, you guys are in winter right now, aren't you?
Yeah, but I live in... my weather is basically Miami weather. There's no such thing as winter.
I was going to ask, is there such a thing as winter in Australia?
There is. We even have ski resorts.
Do you really? Where? I thought those were in New Zealand.
South. No, the New South Wales Victoria border.
Oh.
There's a bunch of ski resorts there. There's a few in New Zealand too. Queenstown's really nice.
Oh, fascinating. Well, there you go. We learned something today on Stream Chat. As we've resumed play, 4:30 to go here. Jimmy Butler being guarded by, looks like Giannis. Yes, outside beyond the three-point line. Adebayo going in. Adebayo with the left hand over Lopez. Miami has hit the century mark.
And now Bam Adebayo coming to life.
Miami just locked in here defensively. Screen by Giannis, and Hill can't finish it. Lopez is going to go for three. He's been hitting these shots all night. Oh, halfway down, and it comes out.
That got like 4 pieces of the iron and rattled out.
And went around about twice.
And then we get a loose ball foul against the Bucks.
Bonus. There is a bonus here. Miami is in the bonus. Oh, yeah. Hill just kind of grabs Jimmy's right arm and pulls him down.
Yeah, Butler had the rebound cleanly there, and Hill just got his arm sort of looped in underneath the elbow.
Look at that free throw disparity, though. 7 of 9 for Miami. You were mentioning earlier, or was it at halftime, that Miami had a significant number of more fouls called against them than the Bucks. And I think the Bucks will say that has evened out at this point.
It has quite literally evened out.
There you
18
go.
apiece.
As Jimmy Butler hits both free throws, it is now a 3-point margin for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler has just ascended here. 26 points, 13 coming in this quarter. Middleton going to go for 3. Middleton, that's off back iron. Again, I think the Bucks are just getting a little tight. I mean, imagine being down 2-0. You've been up all game. Miami's basically had your number, and now they're up by 3 with 3:40 to go. As Spoelstra calls time here with 3:39 to go.
Milwaukee were up 14 late in the third. Only very briefly, but the lead was 14. Miami hadn't led since midway through the third. They had a 1-point lead.
Yep.
In that period. They trailed all the way through the second. So it's mostly been all Milwaukee until that fourth quarter break. And then since then, the Heat has absolutely reeled this in.
They just look like, I mean, I don't know. Were they saving it for the fourth? They're like, we're not really going to show our hand until the fourth quarter. And then we're just going to put pedal to the metal and just go for it.
Maybe they're just confident enough. They figure we know we can go up a gear when we need to.
Yeah, true.
Let's just stay close.
True.
Actually, I will go get my Heat scarf. We've got 20 seconds before this happens.
There
again.
you go. Want to just to have it take the opportunity, we'll make sure we welcome in all the viewers across both platforms that we're streaming on, both Twitch and YouTube. Thank you very much for taking the time this afternoon, evening, or morning if you're over in Australia to watch the game with us and enjoy it as Derek's got his scarf back.
So the mighty Townsville Heat, we'll bring that in. From our QBL, well, what's now NBL 1. Townsville Flames are the women's minor league team. But yeah, the colors are completely wrong for this game. Nobody's wearing blue.
Nobody's wearing blue. Looks a little purple. Looks a little Twitch purple, honestly.
It's a royal blue. It's not quite a Twitch purple.
Jimmy Butler going to drive in, go high off glass, and he is going to get that one to drop. Beautiful play off the inbounds. Butler, 104. Oh, he traveled. Giannis traveled, and it wasn't called. Butler sort of pleading with the ref for it. Giannis going to drive in, and Hill is going to shoot the 3, and that's going to be off and rebounded by Crowder.
3 minutes.
Butler working on Giannis. Giannis gives him left. Oh, and pokes it out from behind. Great defensive play by Giannis on Butler. And Bledsoe going in. Bledsoe against Adebayo, and Adebayo gets called for the foul.
I don't know if I can line this up so I can get a logo visible. I'll keep the Townsville Fire colors. It's a bit closer to Miami colors.
Bledsoe stepping up to the free throw line will shoot 2.
And if any Milwaukee fans complain, I've got a green background. So
Oh, I've actually jumped quite ahead in the game here, Derek. Can you jump ahead?
I haven't. I have 2:49 remaining. Bledsoe is shooting the second free throw, and he makes it.
I have a minute and 13 seconds. We've time traveled here. Okay, we've time traveled into the future as it is Miami now up by 7 points as Jimmy Butler tries to put the fadeaway jump shot to, but it will not go. And now Bledsoe driving on Hero. Great defense by Hero, and Bledsoe just gives it away. Who's more overrated, Giannis or Ben Simmons? Well, at least Giannis is still playing in the playoffs.
Even
Crowder
though I'm
was the
Australian,
one.
I have to say Ben Simmons to that question. And I like Ben Simmons.
It was Crowder who put the 3 in to go up 7. He has hit all his points have been from 3. Or fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure all his points have been from 3.
You might well be right. It certainly was the case earlier on.
See if you can jump forward.
Yeah, I can. I'm at 53.5
Okay,
now.
all right, we're good. We're good.
I was able to pause it to stay in sync, which meant I had a lot of slack.
Ah, okay. Yeah, for some reason it told me I was live, but I was not live, clearly. I was like a minute behind. Somehow we got really off.
About a 5-4-11 from the field, all threes, 15, 4, and 5.
Yes, Crowder just sensational, a lethal 3-point threat. And now, I think chat might be right, Derek. Maybe bring out the brooms here because Miami has just looked better in this fourth quarter. There's Jimmy Butler, 28 points for the game. He has 15 this quarter. Sensational.
Yeah, Heat are definitely coming home with a wet sail. They've been brilliant for the last 12 minutes.
Sensational here. The storyline will also be probably the health of the ankle for Giannis, although Giannis has managed to play through it. Almost a triple-double for him. Miami does manage to inbound, and now we are back live as they try to trap Adebayo in the backcourt, and they get this to Hero, and they are going to foul intentionally? Maybe? Maybe.
I think they're trying to.
Yes, they will actually put Jay Crowder at the free throw line here. This may be his first points that don't come from the 3-point line.
He hasn't even taken a shot inside the arc. 5 for 11, all deep.
You know what? I'll take it. The way that he's hitting them, why not? Crowder for the free throw line has managed to hit that one. Nice shot there. 8-point margin now. Miami just so lethal. Just so lethal. And WWE Fan 57, thank you very much for the follow on the Twitch side of things. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon. Glad you're enjoying the broadcast. Make sure if you are on the Twitch side, as a Lakers fan since 08, I can just laugh. No, the Lakers coming up next. And they will be up against the Houston Rockets. Oh my goodness, what a spin move by Giannis, and he just misses. He just misses. Just misses. Crowder would have had a wide open 3 if he chose to take it. And Middleton is going to foul. I think, Derek, this is the white flag for Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think they've put the cue in the rack here. I think that's going to be the end of interesting proceedings.
WWE fan says you have to say he's been a fan since 08 or else you just get called the LeBron fan.
See, the hard part of being a Lakers fan is that you always get called a bandwagoner because, you only been a fan because they signed Kobe. You only were a fan because they signed Shaq. You only were a fan because they got LeBron. You only were a fan because they signed Kareem. It's just a matter of what era you come in as to what bandwagon people accuse you of.
Guess what? You've only been a fan because they win. I'd be like, well, yes, actually. See, Dad Dad and dad were Lakers fans. There's legacy here. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, and it's like something like a Manchester United. Some people will come in because that's the default option, but sometimes you inherit that fandom from a parent or whatever, or you like a particular player, and you're just sort of coming in on in the middle of a purple patch where they win everything.
Yeah. This has gotten into basketball around 07, 08. That's actually when I started getting really into basketball because that was the first year I went to Duke. And of course, being big on the Duke side and in the college game, that's a lot of our streams in the fall are focused on college. Yes, and obviously when you have Kobe, it's a good choice for sure.
Yeah, and Gasol.
Well, you just have teams that win. I mean, yeah, but perhaps not of late. I guess you have the Lakers have had their struggles of late, but looking pretty good so far in the playoffs. Aside from dropping that one game to Portland, I think Derek, you called that it would be 4-1 in favor of the Lakers in this next upcoming series here.
Yeah, I think you might. I said earlier in the stream, you might get one game where Houston just has that thing where everything clicks, but I don't think they have an answer for AD. I don't think they have an answer for LeBron. If you're going to run a small ball lineup where nobody's over 6'7", then 201 centimeters for us in metric territory, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, chat saying they're kind of worried about this Heat team. I'll tell you, well, who's really worried about this Heat team? It's Milwaukee, and that Milwaukee fan that they showed there on the virtual board as DiVincenzo tries to go for three, and that just won't fall. So it's now another intentional sort of foul given by Brook Lopez, and Miami just keeps pushing the lead farther and farther, and Milwaukee just doesn't have answers. My goodness, if you're I don't know what to do if you're Milwaukee at this point. We talked earlier, you said, well, the strategy was kind of more of the same because you've been close. You've been right there in the last two games, and yet the results have just not been in your favor. It just hasn't worked. You've fallen apart in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and so now you have a really difficult choice. Do you work on the strategy that got you to the number one seed, or what do you do? Because now you have a sudden death game coming up Sunday afternoon, Monday morning for me. So yeah, do you dance with the girl who brought you, or do you try something different? And that's going to be a really tough choice for Budenholzer and the Bucks over the next 2 days.
Yeah, WWE fans saying they just don't have the mentality at this point. I'm inclined to agree with you. The way that they have collapsed here in the fourth quarter. Look at this. Miami, a 38-point fourth quarter. Miami, a 38-point fourth quarter. The Bucks have put up 13 points. I mean, damn. Like, I don't even know what else to say.
No.
Like, this is crazy.
And WWE fans saying in chat, I think I've seen Giannis being ball handler 3 times in 9 minutes. What was working for the Bucks was him driving and creating in the paint, trying to use his size. Him sitting at the perimeter shooting threes. Miami will take that all day. The way he's been shooting in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's 0 for 6. He needed to step up, and he lets Middleton and Bledsoe run the ball. But, I mean, Middleton and Lopez were the ones sort of carrying the team. And then one of the virtual fans bringing out the brooms. Do you have a broom next in the studio there with you?
The only thing I have in reach is my Roomba, and it's not really...
Yeah, so we've thought about having to use the Roomba because Fran and I are in the same position. I was like, well, my apartment is carpeted, so I don't really have a broom, but I guess we could do the vacuum cleaner. Oh, man.
I do have a broom. Most of my place is tile. Carpet's too hot for the tropics, but yeah, just not within reach.
1:15 here, and that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. The Bucks just aren't even going to put up a final shot. They're just going to do nothing. The shot clock is off. They're just going to run it down. Miami with a 40-point fourth quarter. Incredible. Heat versus Lakers final. I'm not sure we're going to get with that. One of our other co-casters who's away this weekend because of the Labor Day holiday has the Clippers, actually. But I'm very interested to see. And here, this is the stat that you had earlier. No team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a best of 7, 0 for 139.
Yeah, it's really tough to come back from that hole, and that might be the result that breaks the Bucks. That's a game they had in hand. They were up 14 in the third quarter and couldn't close out.
Yeah, I mean, just like shattered, like mentally shattered, right? Like there's two games. You got to play the mental game, you got to play the actual physical game, right? And
Yeah,
like clearly Miami has won both.
fans waving Roombas around in the stands. I don't know with the current backpack policy they would let us do that, Aaron, but it's
But with virtual fans, why not? I think we're just gonna have to wave Roombas.
well, I mean, there is a thing with Roombas where people name them and attribute personalities to them. So
Giannis has really been exposed the last 2 years in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, well, we talked about sort of the controversial tweet from yesterday that there was basically saying that Giannis is actually a Pippen and not a Jordan. And the play today just probably gave that a bit more credibility because he basically wasted the triple double here.
yeah, and in key situations, again, we've talked about it multiple times, but in key situations, he's sitting at the perimeter shooting threes. He was passive, whereas he really should have been taking the game by the scruff of the neck, because in the third quarter that was working. Yeah, Jimmy is like 6 inches smaller than Giannis and we can't body him. Again, you can't hover around the perimeter. You've got to, he's got to be more physical. And I don't know if that awkward landing on his knee in the first period might have changed his mindset and he was settling a bit more, or if it's just that's how the game flowed.
Yeah, I was actually going to go to this next point that WWE fan was saying. Like, I think a lot of people thought, given the Bucks seeding and their position as the number one seed in the East, that you could potentially see some sort of Bucks Lakers sort of final. But like, after seeing how AD has been playing and how Giannis was, it's like wouldn't be a contest. Like, AD would have his way with this guy.
And Goran Dragic talking to Fox Sports Sun there, and Adebayo just getting in shot.
And it's okay. We're getting into it in chat now, as we have one of our chat members calling the Rockets in 5. Oh boy, Lakers will beat Rockets in 5 or 6, and the Clippers in 6. I think these are going to be interesting series. I think that sort of this series is basically over at this point, right? Miami now up 3-0, so congratulations to the Miami Heat. Now, they do have to close it out. We saw what happened with Boston. But I think a Lakers Heat Eastern Conference final would be phenomenal. We've said this before because of the guard play of both teams. And there's just so many interesting matchups that you have, right, between Dragic and Adebayo, Kemba, Tatum, Brown. You could I think that one will be fascinating to watch. Yeah, and Jimmy Butler just making a name for himself on a team that really doesn't have a marquee superstar, right? Although that Jimmy Butler is becoming that marquee superstar. All right, so next game is going to be the Houston Rockets going up against the LA Lakers. We actually won't have that one for you. We're not doing the doubleheader tonight, but we will plan on covering the other games once we resume after the Labor Day holiday. Derek, any final thoughts here as we head into the weekend? We're going to have games. We're going to have game 2 of the Clippers Nuggets series. We're going to have the game 4 for the Celtics and the Raptors. Where do the teams stand by the time we roll around to Monday?
I think Boston's going to take a 3-1 lead. I think somebody in chat just mentioned earlier on, Boston didn't play fantastically well, and they've got room to improve. And Toronto only just edged them yesterday. So I think Boston does take game 3. I like the Raptors, but I don't think they win that series. And on the other side of things, Denver has a lot of improving to do if they're going to make a series out of the.
Yeah, Denver looks a little overmatched.
Denver just looked tired. Like I mentioned it earlier on, Jamal Murray was exhausted after those. No, after that, okay. No, sorry, after the
Jazz.
Yeah, the Jazz series, and yeah, just they look tired. The Clippers have just had that extra time to not necessarily get rusty, but just recover from niggling injuries. And yeah, I think the Clips are too strong on that one.
Yeah, that was kind of how we thought these series might go. I think that the Jazz and the Nuggets series was so interesting because you have both like two teams that are sort of in similar stages of their progression, right? With these young stars, and you're trying to sort of build around them. So schematically, like on paper, they match up very well against one another, and we sort of saw that happen, right? As that series went to 7. But now when you have the experience of a Kawhi Leonard, a former champion and an MVP, you have Paul George there, and the other Clippers players who are, and of course Doc Rivers as the coach. The youth kind of gets exposed.
Yeah, age and guile always beats youth and experience and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And I think the Clippers take that one.
All right.
They know what they need to do.
Yes, they do, and so they're out to get it done. I think it would be fascinating, sort of LA final, all LA final. It would have been even more fascinating if we actually got to play it in LA, right? We didn't have to play it all in Florida. In any case, fabulous stream, everybody. Thank you, Derek, very much for jumping on with us here, all the way from Australia. Make sure to head over to his channel as well, and give him a follow here. We'll put that link in chat, as he's going to be broadcasting various basketball games throughout the season, and also focusing in on the NBL when that resumes play. But we will be back on Monday. We're off for sort of the long weekend here in the States. Much appreciated to everybody on both the YouTube and the Twitch side of things. And thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you for all the follows. If you haven't had a chance to follow, make sure to hit that follow, but hit that heart button on the Twitch side of things, and hit that subscribe on the YouTube side of things. Thank you very much, and have a great long weekend, everyone, and stay safe.